sir.
All right, guys, what's up? We're going to be going over the waiver wires for this week. As we go through game by game, we'll just kind of mention who we would like. I think honorable mention for this week is McLaughlin from the Broncos. He's kind of like one of the more sought-after guys. Obviously, running backs are hard to get off the waiver wire.
Yes,
So,
they are.
even when Jamal Williams comes back, I think he'll
Javonte.
be Javonte Williams comes back. I think he'll be someone that will still get snaps because he looked.
He's found the end zone this season, so.
Week 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he looked pretty good. I think he's someone you can pick up, but we'll get a lot more into that.
Yeah, so before we start talking about games or anything, I got to give credit where credit's due. Carter, guys, was 13-3. Top record on a week basis this season. I'm 11-5 in my last 3 weeks, so consistency is key, guys. But 13-3, dude, that's impressive. Missed out on Miami, New Orleans, and Cincy. I mean, that's as good as you can get, man. That's impressive. So you're only 3 games behind me now.
Yeah,
I'm 43-21 on the season. You're 40-24. So we're both right there, man.
I'd mentioned that was my comeback week last week.
You did.
I'm
You
still
did it.
on the train, baby.
You
I'm
did
keeping
it.
rolling.
Good for you, dude.
I'll be keeping it rolling this week.
We'll have to see. We'll see where that goes. But yeah, man, props to him. Came out on top this week, so I'm the big bum, even at 11-5. So props to you, dude.
Take it.
All right. We're getting ourselves into some overseas action. Atlanta and Jacksonville. Jacksonville is the home team. Put a whooping on Atlanta, really.
Toy Story game.
Bro, they showed the highlights from like every game this weekend in the middle of the Monday night game. And the highlights from that game were in like Toy Story. I was like, bro, I didn't see a single real life like
It was so
highlight. Yeah. Desmond Ridder, guys, played like butt. Like that's the only he played awful. I mean, I'm looking at right now 10.6 QBR. He just has not been good. We see it like if it's funny because the way they play offense, if they can't run the ball, they can't pass the ball. And even like being in that poor game script isn't even beneficial.
Yep.
Because then it just like he can't operate like that. So like he's struggling right now. Bijan, dude, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's great. I mean,
he's averaging 6 yards per carry on the season, 7.5 in this game in particular.
Yeah, he's like everything that we hoped.
Right.
So
I mean,
he's great.
He's people were saying it's crazy to try and draft him at number 1 overall, but if you did that, it's paying dividends. Obviously, McCaffrey's RB1, but dude, I mean, he's everything you could ask for right now. Bijan's RB6, but he's giving you consistency week to week. We see it with the receptions every week. He gets the workload.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been as much of a split between him and Algier as we expected. So good things for Bijan. Do you think Algier's droppable? I heard someone say he is.
No. No.
Because he is the best handcuff in the game, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Or he's up there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he's top 3 easily as a handcuff. And yeah, so I mean, no. He's not. I mean, who are you going to drop him for? Like,
yeah.
That's the thing you have to consider. Maybe if you're like getting a trade and you're getting Cooper Kupp this week or Jonathan Taylor and you had to drop someone like and he's the last. I still think that no, I would keep him.
I agree. I like hanging on to him. Just like we said, top handcuff. But Bijan, guys, obviously the RB1 in the offense. He's going to be year long. I mean, we know who he is right now.
Not startable.
Yeah. Jonnu Smith led the team in receiving, in that tight end position. Also,
told you Kyle Pitts would bust this week. And he did it.
I'm just gonna let you say it. Yeah.
I told you.
I mean, guys, like
that
Pitt,
was my one bold prediction.
That's like the one that either of us got right this week. Drake London was top target on the team with 7 targets this week. Only 3 catches for 28 yards. So, guys, I think for this Atlanta offense moving forward, I think if they have a game where they can run the ball, I think that's when you look to get Drake London in your lineup. That's probably how I will play it. Fortunately, I drafted, so I have 3 other top wide receivers right now. But Drake London, guys, if they get a soft matchup in the run game, that's when you can play London because that just opens up that offense. That's what makes Desmond Ridder comfortable. We did see London with the touchdown. He always has that potential. He's their big play guy near the red zone, 6'5" frame, 6'4", something like that. Just a great – he's a great receiver. But even with the touchdown, he only had 3 receptions on 28 yards, so that's not going to get it done on a week-to-week basis. But I think in those softer run defense matchups, you can play London, which doesn't really make sense on the surface, but if you think about it a little more, it does.
Yeah, I'll just let you talk about London because my thoughts on it are just I would try to trade him away.
I mean, it's bleak. Yeah, I would.
Because you hope he gets into the end zone. If
right,
not,
that's
he has an
the thing.
week.
So, if you can couple him with a higher end guy to go get someone that might need some depth or has injuries at the position, then make your move there, no doubt about it. But he's hard. He's a guy you're gonna have to play matchup based, obviously, like I'm saying. Just very unfortunate. I do want to say Bijan Robinson had a great day against a tough run defense in Jacksonville. So that's the last thing I'll leave off with that Atlanta offense. Not much more to say.
Yeah.
Moving to Jacksonville side of thing, man. Still waiting.
For Calvin.
For Trevor Lawrence. Just for this whole I'm waiting for that game where Trevor Lawrence has a great game, Etienne has a great game, Kirk has a great game, Ridley has a great game, Ingram. You know what I'm saying? Like they have that potential as an offense to just blow up.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we still really have not seen that. So, waiting for that, it's just not there right now. I mean, Lawrence, he did have a 77 QBR, but statistically speaking, he was not great. Had the touchdown, 200 yards, and 40 yards rushing. So, an all right day. Obviously, not what you're expecting out of the guy that you drafted in the 6th or 7th round, something like that.
Yeah.
Etienne. You got some stats pulled up on him. Not an efficient day.
Yeah, 2.8 yards per carry. Saw a couple targets through the air. I don't think you see him get a lot of targets throughout this year. So, he's still a guy you like to have.
And 7th in receptions, 8th in yardage. So he's getting it solid more though than we expected, more though than he saw last year. So that is encouraging to me. If he can have a floor there, I like that because Etienne, that's like you and I say in this offseason, coming out of Clemson, that's the guy we knew. Getting receptions out of the backfield, getting an open space, that sort of thing. We know he has wheels, so not exactly like getting used in the way you would think he would in the receiving game, but it's solid. He's had 3 or more targets in every single game this year, so that's good, guys. But it was tough sledding this week for him.
Yeah, it seems like maybe that's also due to the fact that their offense has just been bad. Dump offs, that type of stuff. Not really like designed.
Right. Yeah, he's not getting exactly
plays or anything.
So
like that.
I do want to highlight Christian Kirk. Obviously, 12 targets, led the team to Ridley's 2, which is I'll get to that in a second. Christian Kirk's since that week 1 dud, dude, he's been a beast.
Yeah, Zay Jones has been out, and Christian Kirk has definitely stepped up.
Yeah. So, and Kirk's the guy we know he can do it. Like, we know he's talented, good receiver. But, yeah, 8 receptions, 84 yards. Evan Ingram, 7 receptions, 59 yards on 8 targets. Ridley, man. I don't know if it's because he was seeing a bunch of A.J. Terrell this week, but he hasn't done it since week 1 against the Colts. And we all were like, oh my gosh, like he's everything we thought he was going to be, 3rd round pick. Some guys have him pegged as a 2nd round pick. He did get the touchdown, but 2 receptions, 38 yards. Like that's not.
It hasn't been reliable from him.
No.
And I would hold on to him. I think he's still the most talented wide receiver in that group. And, it's 4 games into his first season with the Jacksonville Jaguars. We saw them kick it up at the latter end of last year. So, he's someone that I would continue to, probably flex and continue to play because you almost you
have to play him.
You almost have to see, it can't get worse than this, right?
Right. So. No, he's a guy that's in your lineup, no doubt. I like him. he's obviously talented. Like from that week 1 performance, we know it's still there. It's just a matter of that. I think it's just a matter of that offense coming together.
Yeah,
That's what we're all waiting for.
Right. Yeah.
Because I mean, even ETN, like we said, had a down week this week. So
yeah, Evan Ingram has been good though.
Evan Ingram, yeah, guys, he's been one of the best tight ends in the league so far. Really liking what we're seeing out of him. He's one of the few tight ends that were drafted early that are really paying off. He's tight end 4 right now. But he's been very consistent. Like, Cole Kmet's at 3 right now, but that's just because he had a 27 bomb this past week. Like, I'm looking at Ingram right now, 9.9, 11, 13, 12. So, like, I'd rather have that for my tight end than, 27 and then 3, 6, 5.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
So, shout out to Evan Ingram. He's having a great season. Jags came out on top of that, so both those teams are 2-2 now. Moving to Buffalo, where Miami got a little taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, dude.
Something you and I did not expect. Buffalo ran up scoreboard, guys, 48-20. Both teams 3-1 now. Tua had a tough day. They really got to him, pressuring and finishing with the sack. Got sacked 4 times. He had a touchdown, a pick, 282 yards. So not a great day for Tua. Really saw him rushed. When he's rushed, that's the question. I think that's the question for his career right now. When he's rushed, can he handle it? Can he process more than just those immediate reads that we see Mike Daniels set up for him?
Yeah. Bills did well. I mean,
yeah.
they're the big guys in that division. So
looking at it right now, Devon Achane, man. We warned against starting him. Wanted to see him do a little more. Obviously, we were wrong on that. Guys, he's in your lineup.
Well, no, I think we saw him do a little bit more. So now you go ahead and start him.
That's what I'm saying. He's in your lineup. Like we were afraid of starting him this week because we thought he might dud. That might be an outlier week, but that was not. Because I mean, the efficiency on his touches are insane. He only had 8 carries for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like that, I don't know, man. Like he's got to be in your lineup. He's just insane right now, and he's getting the receptions. Also had 5 targets, tied for second on the team with 3 other guys. So, Devon Achane, he was the bright spot in this game. He's just a beast, dude. He's an absolute beast right now.
I'm looking at this now. He's getting a touch on 46, so almost half of his snaps he's getting a touch. So they're just, when he's in, he's almost getting the ball every time.
Yeah, they want him to get the ball, that's for sure.
He's good.
So, Tyreek Hill, guys, really uncharacteristic game for him. 3 receptions, 58 yards, and 5 targets. So, it's just one of those you have to take with a superstar. That just means that he's due for next week. That's how I like to think about it. Obviously, not coming out of your lineup. That's not even a thought. They get New York next week, which could be a 70-20 game. But yeah, guys. So Tyreek Hill obviously was a bust this week. Finished very, very low, but I'm fine with him. I want to talk about Jalen Waddle real quick. He has not had a good year so far.
Yeah.
4 receptions in every single game he's played, I believe. Hasn't been very explosive with his touches. He did have the concussion in week 3. Came back this week.
Rough week for the Bills in general.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah, he's in your lineup, guys. I would... If there's someone that really likes him in your league, I would not be opposed to you trading him if you can get fair value. I'm not liking what I've seen so far, but in such an explosive offense, you'd have to think he bounces back. Like, there's...
you take out, week 2 or last week and the
3,
week before, yeah. So week 1 and week 2.
Well, he finished week 2.
Yeah, he had 12 points.
He's had 4. Yeah, he's had 4 receptions for 78, 4 for 86, and 4 for 46. Hasn't seen more than 6 targets. But Waddle's a guy that knows how to be efficient. I'm not opposed to getting rid of him. I'm also not opposed to holding him. So, I don't know. I'm not opposed to. If you can get fair value, really though. Like, I'm not opposed to trading him for fair value, but I'm also not opposed to either holding him or trying to go get him if you can get him for lower value. Obviously,
what would be like fair value for him? Like, would you trade him for Calvin Ridley?
If I'm getting Calvin,
yeah,
that's a good question. Probably. I think that's very fair. Like I think that's kind of a lateral move. Yeah, I think that's very close. Like I think that's a very lateral move. So I think that's about as fair as it gets. So like, obviously you want to feel like you're getting the better end of a trade, so that's kind of subjective. But yeah, so that's kind of what I put him on par with right now.
What about Nico Collins?
I'm going Nico Collins, dude.
Okay.
Oh, honestly, as crazy as that might sound, his boom potential's like, I mean, Jalen Waddle's a boom potential guy, but Nico's going crazy, dude. So I mean, I'm a Nico owner, guys. So like that's bias might be seeping in right there, but like what I've seen from Nico so far, he's dominating targets, dominating yards per catch. Like his yards per catch is ridiculous right now. So, I mean, that's how I feel about Waddle right now. I'm just not real confident on Waddle. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, I see it. I see what you're saying.
So, moving to Buffalo side of things, guys. Josh Allen had a near perfect game. 21 for 25, 320 yards, 4 touchdowns. Not much more to say. Also had a rushing touchdown. So, yeah, I mean, he went nuts this week. That's everything you want to see from Josh Allen. He's obviously in your lineup. He's a top quarterback. A guy we had pegged as a top 5, if not top 3 quarterback this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have you some down games, but he's going to have games like this. So, the guy you love to have on your team, love to have in your lineup, for sure. A guy that did not do well but did save his day was James Cook. Averaged only 2.5 yards per carry, guys. Still got the bulk of the carries with 12, double what the next closest guy, Damian Harris, got. Only 29 yards. Did see the goal line work, which is very encouraging if you're a James Cook owner. I really like James Cook season long. The versatility, his progression that we've seen so far has been very encouraging. This was his lowest output this year so far. Obviously saved it with that 48-yard reception. So still put up a solid week. You want to see a little more, but you got to take it. You know, he had solid overall output, I guess.
Yeah, no, he's great.
Like,
Probably
I'm
gonna
not
be a
worried about
steal and someone that's gonna get drafted higher next year. I mean,
right. He'll probably go in like the 4th round next year or something like that. I can see that.
Yeah, he's been great. So
Yeah, I mean, you know, it just is what it is. Stephon Diggs, dude. I think we can just say his name and everyone knows what he did.
yeah, dude, that catch was crazy. That catch he had, where
Wow.
he just spun off. He didn't even spin off. Like, I think he was surprised that he got free, and then he just runs it in.
6 receptions, 120 yards, 3 touchdowns.
That was 1 of 3. Yeah, so I mean, he was nice.
Crazy, bro. Crazy.
He was good.
Gabe Davis. Another week, another touchdown. Obviously, guys, he's not going to end up with 16 touchdowns on the season.
He might.
But he might. But 3 receptions, 61 yards, and touchdown. So 15 solid points right there. I love it. Gabe Davis was a guy that we started to see in the offseason. Like, you know, him getting drafted so low is kind of great value.
Yep.
So he's a guy I would love to have on my team. I think he's a guy, you know, if he's your flex option, that's not the worst you can do, obviously.
I like him as a flex, dude.
I like him. He's
had a
explosive.
pretty good
Like,
floor this year,
yeah. I mean, you know, obviously would like to see more than 3 targets, but he's getting it done one way or another, guys. I averaged 20 yards a catch here regardless. So, you know, 9 points, obviously, without the touchdown. You do want more than that. You'd like to see a little more than that. But he has that high touchdown potential. He's that big play guy at the end of the day for the Bills. Like, that's his kind of role.
Yeah.
So.
And it's hard to say, like, oh, you take out the touchdown, you didn't have a good week.
Right.
Like, you got to. Like,
Yeah, he had the touchdown, though, you know? Yeah. So, props to him. I do want to highlight Dalton Kincaid had 4 receptions to Dawson Knox's 1. And Knox only saw 1 target. Kincaid saw 5. Don't know if that's a little trend developing there. Obviously, Kincaid only had 27 yards on his catches. It's going to be I feel like we highlight this every week, or at least I touch on it. It's going to be hard to pick between those two week in, week out. One of them's going to get a touchdown or something. You know, it's just going to be hard, guys. I don't hate either of them. I would move Kincaid. If I had to lean one way or another, obviously going to lean Kincaid. I think he's just far more talented than Dawson Knox is. So that wraps up that game for us, guys. One that you and I did not predict correctly, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty crazy how dominant the Bills were. So
Yeah.
not too mad about my pick. It's just you're not gonna get them all right.
Moving to the Cellar Dweller Bowl. Nice terms for what we were calling it all week. Chicago and Denver, guys. Chicago took the early lead. Clearly did not hold on to it. Denver with the miraculous comeback to get their first win of the season. After we talk about this, I have a theory for Chicago. Chicago's 0-4 right now, so something I'll touch on in a second. Russ, 223 yards, 3 touchdowns, guys. Solid week from him, 13 yards rushing, so he put up some good numbers. Him and Fields were my sleepers at quarterback because I thought it would be a little more high scoring than what was thought, and obviously it turned out to be. So good stuff from him. I don't really know how I view him moving forward. He's actually done pretty well.
I still don't like him, dude.
I mean, yeah, I don't really like him. He's QB7 right now.
It's a fake.
Or QB9, sorry, but I mean, he's had 3 solid weeks, and 1 week was 16 as his lowest output. He does play the Jets this upcoming week, so don't know how much I like that.
That Redskins game was such a fluke.
Yeah.
And then the Bears, dude, like.
Right, it doesn't really count.
We've already said it. Start everyone you can against the Bears.
Right, yeah. So, moving on, Jaleel McLaughlin, so the guy that we highlighted coming into this.
All right, trade Amari, Terry, and Connor for Saquon, PPR. Other wide receivers, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Christian Watson, and Tank Dell. Other running back is Pollard and Etienne.
Piran. So he has Pollard and Etienne, and he's going to add Saquon to that. And then he would have Keenan, Mike Evans, Christian Watson, and Tank Dell. Off the top of this, with Mike Evans going out with the hamstring strain, because we'll touch on that in a second.
Yeah.
I do like the running backs. I think, obviously, if you have Pollard, Etienne, and Saquon, that's pretty untouchable. But one thing you and I talked about, the Giants have a brutal schedule. Like, it is easily the toughest schedule in the NFL. Like, not even close.
I think it's disconnected. Keep going, though. They reconnected last time.
I'm going to look up the Giants schedule real quick. Because it is.
Trade Amari, Terry, and Connor. Saquon. Okay. Sorry if we cut out.
So, reread the question for them.
Yeah, so trade Amari, Cooper, Terry McLaurin, and James Conner for Saquon. In PPR, other wide receivers, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Christian Watson, and Tank Dell. Other running backs are Pollard, Etienne, Samaje Perine, and Gainwell.
So, I mean, the running backs he would have would be great with Saquon, Pollard, and Etienne.
Yeah.
But then you'd have Keenan,
Christian
Watson,
and Tank Dell.
Because Mike Evans, guys, hamstring strain, don't know how long he's going to be out. Older guy, could be reoccurring, that sort of thing. Obviously having great seasons so far. So off of what I'm taking it for right now, I don't like having both Amari and Terry in that because I'll read you New York's schedule. Miami, Buffalo, Washington, the Jets, the Raiders, which is obviously an easy game, Dallas, Washington, New England, Green Bay, New Orleans, Philly, the Rams, and then Philly.
So Philly twice in the playoffs.
Well, okay, Week 18 doesn't count.
Okay,
but Rams, Philly, and New Orleans.
Yeah, in the playoffs.
And then, I mean, dude, the only easy sledding game is the Raiders. Outside of that, every team has a good defense. So I don't like Saquon season long. Like, I love Saquon, but trading that type of value for him,
yeah,
I can't. Like, that's a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Amari's the guy that we've raved about. So he got Amari and Keenan. Hey, shout out to you, bro.
Yeah,
shout out to you, Chandler.
Amari and Keenan were two of the biggest steals we think of the draft, or what we projected. Keenan's been an obvious steal. I honestly, dude, I like your team.
Yeah. So
Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, and then you can go Watson or Dell at flex, and then you got Pollard and ETN already in PPR.
And he has
leagues.
James Conner. So, I mean,
Yeah, James Conner's not.
what
bad.
I would probably try to do if I were you is go after a different guy. So, I don't know if you're trying to propose this or he's proposing it to you, but my thoughts would be go after a different guy of that same level and try to trade like just Terry. And if you're going for a running back, I would try to trade if someone likes ETN more than Connor, pair Amari and ETN or pair, Terry and Connor, something like that. Only two of those three guys that you're trying to trade right now for a guy of that Saquon-esque level.
Yeah.
That's my take. I think that's a little too much for Saquon considering the schedule we just read off and coming off an ankle injury and a poor offense. So, like, dude, your team is fire right now. I don't know if you're playing a 12, 10, 8-man, what it is, but whatever you did in your draft, you drafted very well.
This looks like a 12-man for sure.
Yeah, I would say. So, yeah, dude. I mean, Keenan and Amari are two guys that Carter and I love. Terry's been getting it done. He had 8 receptions for 80-something yards this week. Got the fumble touchdown, which picked up 22 for him on the week. But, yeah, man, I'd stick with your team right now and go after with those same guys. Not those same guys, but 2 of those 3 guys that you have up for trade right now for someone of that same relative level. That's how I assess it.
Yeah, I don't mind that. If you already did this, not a terrible trade.
Yeah, he has depth. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah, your team's looking good as it is. All I see that you're doing right now is kind of like muddying up your wide receiver room, and then
I will
just
say,
like really going hard on the running back.
Yeah, I will say his team. The only issue with his team right now is that he has so much depth. It's probably hard on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah.
To guess who to play
That's
at
true.
receiver.
Yeah.
Because you're playing Pollard and ETN, but that's the thing. Then like Connor, and then I would think you're playing Keenan and Amari now that Mike Evans is out. Those are the 2 locks. So it's do you play Connor? Do you play Terry? Do you
Tank Dell, Christian Watson.
Watson coming back now. Like
Mhm.
so, I would say, bro, try to take some of that depth out and go for a trade like this. I do encourage that, but this trade in particular, I would say keep your guys.
I would go with, like, okay, that's hard to say, but if you could do like, even say like Keenan Allen and James Conner for like Tyreek Hill
Something like
on
that.
a down week for Tyreek Hill, I
Yeah.
actually really like that because then
I
you
do
got
too.
Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, and then you keep, you still got Pollard and ETN.
And James Conner.
yeah.
Oh well, you'd be trading Conner, right?
Yeah.
So I would probably go for a running back because he has so many good receivers.
There's a lot. Yeah.
You have
Okay.
options, bro. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I think you can do better than Saquon for this
Yeah.
team, but I as you said, I don't hate it, but not.
I
You
think
can
you
probably
do
go
better.
for someone
I
else.
think you do better. So, guys, getting back to our Broncos-Bears game, Jaleel McLaughlin is a top waiver wire ad for this week. Javonte Williams obviously saw him go down very early in the game. He rushed for 7 for 72, had 3 receptions for 32 yards and the touchdown. So he's a top guy. Now, I don't know how long he's going to, Javonte, his status right now is like might miss a week or 2.
Yeah.
But running backs are hard to come by. So if you're in that position, I don't mind it. They do play the Jets this upcoming week, so that's a tough matchup. Receiving wise, no one really stood out above the rest for this Denver offense. Nothing was really encouraging. Saw Sutton and Judy both get 3 receptions and 5 targets. Judy obviously paced the team in receiving yards. Sutton got the touchdown. I feel like that's kind of what we'll see throughout the season. Sutton's having a solid season. Obviously 3 for 27 and a touchdown isn't much to brag about, but he's gotten it done week in, week out so far.
Yeah, no, Sutton's been good.
He's solid.
He's been solid. Him and Michael Pittman were kind of my 2 guys that reminded me
Right.
of each other, and they're both doing pretty well. So Sutton's an easy flex in my opinion.
Moving to Chicago, I'm in my cycle now. We called it with Justin Fields. Just I'm back up here with them. He'll probably have a mad game, and I'll be like, he has to prove himself again, and then he'll do it, and then I'll just keep going up and down with myself. He had a good game though, guys. 4 touchdowns, 335 yards, 69.8 QBR. Did have the game-sealing pick, unfortunately, and also had the fumble loss. So still got to clean some things up. But encouraging to see that he's able to do that and do it in a game where he didn't necessarily have great rushing. Only 25 yards. So encouraging there nonetheless. Khalil Herbert, great game from him, unexpected. 18 carries, 103 yards. So Herbert, guys, he's hard for me to gauge. He did have 4 receptions, 19 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, how do you – I don't know how to feel about Khalil. He's not a guy that I'm really trying to get in my lineup.
Yeah, same. I don't –
on a week-to-week, I just don't like him.
I don't really like any of the Bears week-to-week, to be honest.
I like DJ Moore, personally. I'm just a big DJ Moore guy. But he had a big game, 8 receptions, 131 yards, a touchdown. Cole Kmet, 7 receptions, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, Kmet I don't like on a week-to-week basis, but I think DJ Moore's the guy you have to play. Traded big stuff for him like we talked about. He's had a solid week after the week 1, or a solid season so far after the week 1 dud. I do think DJ Moore is a solid flex week in and week out.
Yeah, I mean, I say I don't like him. Obviously, he's someone you're playing.
Right.
So, it just is what it is. The Bears are just a terrible team. So.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, so this is my theory. So the Bears are 0-4. The Panthers are 0-4. The Bears traded their number 1 pick last year for Carolina's number 1 pick this year. So both teams, they're the bottom 2 teams in the league. So they'll possibly have the number 1 and the number 2 pick. So they'll get the quarterback of their choice, and I think they'll use Justin Fields as trade ammo. They're going to have the number 1 pick of their choice at quarterback, and then I think they'll draft probably the best defensive player in the draft at 2, and then trade Justin Fields for something else. And I think that's how they're going to build out their team in the future.
The Bears?
Yeah. Because they'll have Carolina's pick. Carolina's 0-4 also.
So, okay. They got DJ Moore and this year's first round?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Dang.
Because they traded the number 1 pick, bro.
Last year's number 1 pick for DJ Moore and this year's first round?
I'm pretty sure. Carolina's first round.
Bro, they got scammed.
Here, I'm going to do some research on that. I'll let you segue into the Ravens-Browns game.
Okay. That's wild. Ravens-Browns, that game was kind of a blowout. I mean, I expected something a little bit closer, but Lamar Jackson showed that he's still that guy. And especially with Mark Andrews, he's such a security blanket for Lamar. He makes him really the QB. He maximizes his QB potential. Yeah, the running backs there, we saw Melvin Gordon have a couple good runs. It's anything goes there. There are still teams trying to trade for Jonathan Taylor and offering big contracts.
Are they really?
Yeah, that's the report that came out Sunday. So I really think that the Ravens should go for Taylor and look to him as a long-term guy to have there.
But as much as that would be awesome, I gotta see with my own 2 eyes Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson together. I have to see it. It's gonna be so electric, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty dominant run game, I'd say.
So okay, I'm looking at it right now, guys. Bears traded the number 1 overall pick for the number 9 pick in last year's draft, 2nd round pick in last year's draft, a 2024 first round from Carolina, and a 2025 second round from Carolina. So they will have Carolina's first round selection this year, which is tied with Chicago as the only 0-4 teams.
So what did they give up? Only one.
The number 1 pick, and
they got DJ Moore and all those picks.
Yeah, I think they might have given up a little something else, but yeah.
Dang, the owner's daughter or something. Jeez, bro.
Yo, she must have been.
They got scammed.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's actually crazy though.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, the Bears should do that. They should get rid of Justin Fields.
Scheme of the century.
Yeah.
Get the top offensive and defensive player. Trade Justin Fields for some more capital and build out that team, bro.
Whoever wants Justin Fields, God bless him.
Shit. So yeah. No one for the Ravens really. I thought it was gonna be a Zay Flowers game. Yeah. I was thinking about a guy 13 cents 83. I was hoping he would get Flowers into his lineup because I thought, hey, the rest of these guys are out. It's just him and Mark Andrews. And even though Lamar had a great game, Andrews obviously was the clear beneficiary. Lamar only threw the ball 19 times, though. So, it is what it is.
Mm.
And with Watson not playing, that Cleveland offense was just not there. I do want to touch on that backfield because that's very interesting to me right now. Although Jerome Ford is pacing them in carries, other guys are getting carries.
Yeah.
Like Pierre Strong got 5 again, Kareem Hunt got 5. So it's not like I think we thought Ford was going to be this guy where he gets a Nick Chubb roll volume
For sure.
and that's not happening. Like he is seeing receptions, so I will say that he saw 6 targets for 5 receptions, 19 yards. Saw that last week. Did get a touchdown in both areas last week. Like I think he's a flex moving forward, but I'm not nearly as confident as I was after Nick Chubb went down. Like I think that's safe to say right now.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, that's something to keep an eye on. I think if you can trade Jerome Ford, I would lean towards doing that. If you can kind of package him with something else, I would lean. I don't really like Jerome Ford right now and moving forward. Maybe see him with another game with Watson, open things up a little bit. But outside of that, people are eating into his workload. We're not seeing that volume roll like we thought.
Yeah. Looking at it here, 62% of snaps last week.
It's not awful,
and
obviously.
32% of the time of his touches or of his snaps he's getting a touch. So I mean, not exactly elite like we thought.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's not Nick Chubb, so
Yeah, he's not an elite player. So
his ceiling was when Nick Chubb went down. It was
Right.
that week before they played.
Yep. So you know what we did see? We saw a David Njoku sighting. 7 targets, 6 receptions, in a grand 46 yards, ladies and gents. If you played Njoku, props to you. Best week you've gotten out of him, which makes it really interesting with him and Deshaun Watson. You would think Watson would find a guy like this more if DTR can find him. I don't really get it. Obviously, Amari Cooper had 6 targets, only 1 reception, so that's like kind of backwards this week. I like Amari moving forward. Obviously, the backup quarterback, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, threw 3 picks. He's just not NFL ready right now, guys. I do like him moving forward as a prospect. I think he's a guy who will be in the league for a while, but moving forward, don't panic with your Browns guys. Although Jerome Ford, we did highlight that he's not getting carries or the touches we thought he would be getting. So that wraps it up for that game. Clearly, the Ravens came out on top of that one in a very, very dominant game. Moving to a game that we were dead wrong on. Since he came into Nashville, dude, and the Titans whooped ass. I mean, they were taking names.
Yep.
Like, totally backwards of what we thought. Joe Burrow does not look good right now. I don't know if that calf's bothering him. My dad and I were talking about this earlier today. If he's not healthy, like, there comes a point where I know you want to play, like, as a player, as any type of sports player. I'm sure you and I have both experienced this where you're hurt. You still want to play.
Yeah.
You're going to get out there on the field if you can. But, dude, if you're detrimental to the performance of your team, like, there comes a point you have to, like, step back real quick.
Well, they can't protect them.
No, that's a problem also. But I just, like, I don't know, man. I really don't understand it.
Like, to me, it's not Burrow. I don't think Burrow is the problem. Like, we know how good Burrow is. So, like, I don't think Burrow's doing worse than any other quarterback would be there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't really make sense to me. Like, he hasn't been good all season. That's the thing. He hasn't had a single, like, really good game.
Yeah, no, I think he's still struggling with that injury, and if I'm the Bengals, I mean, I don't know exactly what conclusion you and your dad came to or what specifically you're
Well, I
talking
mean, we really
about.
didn't. It's just, like,
But-
confusing. I don't know. It's just, like, we don't know enough to really like, come to a true conclusion, I feel like,
Yeah, it's tough. I would put him on the IR and just let him rest this season. It doesn't look like this is going to be the season for them. And I mean, the
1 and
Ravens are
3.
looking. Well, I mean, now Kenny Pickett's out.
Yeah, but also, I mean, the Browns are going to be pretty good moving forward.
Browns seem
Like,
pretty good.
even
Ravens seem pretty good.
yeah, Ravens are on top right now.
We
in
know
that
how
division.
competitive the AFC is. So,
Yeah.
like, I mean, they're still going to have a game against the Chiefs most likely.
Right.
I'm sure that's on the schedule somewhere. Yeah, I'd rest him.
Yeah. So, Joe Mixon surprisingly had a pretty efficient day on the ground with a 4.8 yard average against that stout Titans defense that we always rave about. Titans rushing defense we always rave about. Jamar Chase did see a solid game, 7 receptions for 73 yards. T. Higgins went out with an injury. He's supposed to be supposedly not missing too much time, so I don't know if that means he's going to miss 1 game and then come back or 2 weeks, what we expect there. Something to keep an eye on if you're a Higgins owner. Tyler Boyd obviously takes a step up in that role in that offense, so big thing for him there. But yeah, that Cincy offense was way out of whack. Tannehill, 240 yards, a touchdown, 11 rushing yards, so not a great game or anything. Also had the pick. Your boy, Derrick Henry. He was both of our busts this week, right, at running back.
Mm-hmm.
Proved us wrong. It made us look
That's
like
why
idiots.
he's the king.
That's why he's the king.
Should have traded for him.
Also had his passing touchdown too.
No, I should have tried to trade for him.
122
Yeah, he gets
yards.
a passing touchdown every year.
Yeah, he's due for that every year, guys. We should know this by now. Passing touchdown, rushing touchdown, 122 yards, and a reception for 11 yards. Great stuff out of that guy. Tyjae Spears had a solid game himself. Nothing to rave about, but doing what we like to see him do. 3 receptions for 18 yards, 5 carries for 40 yards. So that's good, efficient work out of Tyjae.
I'm not sure I like to see him do it, but he does it.
Well, yeah, our hearts go out to Derrick Henry, obviously, but you like to see him be efficient with his touches. That's all I'm getting at. One thing I do want to highlight, Hopkins, DeAndre, guys, kind of a weird start to the season. Had that really, funneling game against the Saints to open up the season. I think he had 13 targets or 14 targets, something like that. Haven't seen that sort of volume in the offense, coming from that game. Still a great receiver, guys. I think he's going to get the ball. He's a flex level guy for me right now. Wide receiver 3 on a week-to-week basis just because of that offense. I think he's a great player still. It's just how friendly is that offense going to be to him, I feel like. Because he's the clear number 1. There's no doubt about it.
His target share, he's top 10 at 29%. I mean, it's still elite. It's just you're getting balls from Ryan Tannehill, who's looking like a shadow of himself right now.
Yes,
and
well put.
if they're winning games, it's with Derrick Henry.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, so something to keep an eye on. Just interesting. You got to hold pat on him though. He also doesn't have a touchdown yet this year, so he's due for that.
That's true.
That's one thing you got to keep.
Yeah, I think he was good value in the draft too. It's not like you're
fifth roundish sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that wraps up things there, guys. The Titans came out on top, man. Props to them. We love to see some Titans success. Shout out to Mike Vrabel and those guys over there. Love to see it. Just a team that's easy to root for. Yeah, every year. They're going to be at least. Well, it was a good old classic 9-7, but now that they're doing 17 games, I guess a good old classic 9.5 and 7.5.
They're probably 10-6.
10-7.
10-7.
Anyways, moving to a nail biter. Rams came into Indy, guys. Started up 23-0.
Yeah,
I believe it was.
Yeah.
I was listening to this game on the radio. It was very exciting. Matt Stafford, he was solid.
He still has done for negative touchdowns, it seems.
Yeah. He only had 1 touchdown and a pick. 319 yards, so he's slinging it, guys. Obviously, 40 attempts is very friendly, but still haven't seen, peak Stafford. Or at least I know what you expected more out of him than I did this year. It's there. I can feel it coming. If Kupp comes back, that offense is going to explode. Kyron Williams had his best game as a pro for his young career. 25 carries, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 receptions for 24 yards, guys. Kyron Williams is a lock of a start in your lineup. He is in there week in and week out, no doubt about it in my mind. Probably the greatest waiver wire pickup of the season. I'm going to label him that right now.
Who's that?
Kyler.
Oh.
Or Kyron. Kyron Williams.
Kyron Williams, okay. Yeah. No, I think he was too.
Yeah. Receiving wise, Puka with a real victory lap, I feel like. His final game as the true starting wide receiver there, guys. We'll have to see if Kupp comes back this week or not.
Sean McVay said he will be practicing.
Yeah, he'll be practicing. We'll have to see whether he's game ready or not. Might keep him out until week 6. But keep an eye on that, guys. Puka, I think, is still going to have a role. I think there's no doubt. There's no way he just phases out. Because him and Tutu have had great seasons thus far with Kupp being out. But obviously Kupp comes in as the alpha when he plays. But Puka, guys, 9 receptions, 163 yards. Game-winning touchdown, first touchdown of the season. Great stuff out of him. He is second in the league to only Justin Jefferson in terms of yardage. So that is great. Where does he rank for receptions? It's probably really high. He's first in receptions, so 4 ahead of Keenan Allen, and he is first in targets probably. Yes, he's first in targets also, guys. So Puka's just been a beast this year. I mean, not much more to say about him. Like, he's gonna have a role. There's no doubt. He will probably move to like a flex guy for me once Cup comes back. But he's a guy that you got to get in your lineup. He's just way too talented. He's proven himself thus far. Tyler Higbee, 11 targets, pace the team in targets. Your guy, I know you love some Tyler Higbee. 5 receptions, 64 yards. So a solid game out of him at the tight end position. We know that's a struggle week in and week out to find. He had a great game. No one else below him really did much. Indy, dude, we're seeing a star. We're seeing the formation of a star at that quarterback spot.
Oh, I thought you were about to mention Zach Moss.
Oh, no.
Because it's kind of a walk-off game for him and him and Puka Nacua. They're both going to be kind of stepping down, I think, in week 5.
Absolutely.
Or in the very near future, unless Taylor gets traded.
So, Anthony Richardson, guys. Obviously, a poor completion percentage this week. 11 completions on 25 attempts, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. But he got 56 rushing yards and a touchdown, too. So, 33 points in our league. We do 6 points per passing touchdown. So, your league was probably, 29 points. Still a great week out of Anthony Richardson. What do you say?
Said, thanks for the info. The trade was sent to me. He also added Addison with the Giants schedule. I agree it's so hard, but the offense runs through him in that PPR deep. Dump off seemed like a good safe player. Yeah, no, I was actually looking back at that after we responded. Like, another way to look at this is you're clearly getting the best player in the trade.
No, that's
the Giants'
that's
offense is bad without Saquon, and they seem to be decent with Saquon.
Right.
I mean, like,
Addison's enticing too, because I'm a big Addison guy. Although he did throw up a dud this week, but
yeah,
I mean, it is hard because we always say volume is king. That's like the key to fantasy. So, like, I still do lean towards keeping your team and going for someone else at that level. That's just what my brain is telling me right now. Like I said, I like Addison, so I do think getting that in return also is key in a trade like this. Saquon is I had him last year, loved him. He's a great player. He gets the volume. He's going to score touchdowns, going to get receptions. Had 57 receptions last year, I believe. Hard for me to lean one way or other. I would lean towards keeping you guys, trying to facilitate another trade with someone else in your league for a player of that same level.
So I'm thinking of how you could maximum upgrade. So say you go through with this, you now have Saquon, Etienne, and Pollard. I would recommend then packaging Etienne and
Terry? Or no, he would be losing Terry.
And I would keep Keenan in this situation. Maybe Etienne and Mike Evans, and go after before. I wouldn't look to see what you Etienne and Mike Evans. You could probably get
someone really solid.
You could get someone better than Amari Cooper.
Absolutely, you better.
So that's what I'm looking at.
Etienne's the RB1.
You would have Pollard and Saquon, which is absolutely insane. Etienne's RB1 right now.
Not RB1.
Oh, he is.
He's a RB1.
So yeah, if you could do
a top 12 guy.
Etienne and Mike Evans.
Or no, I'm wrong on that.
Keep
Etienne's RB15 right now, so high end RB2.
You'd have Pollard,
Saquon,
Keenan Allen, Christian Watson, and then Addison / Tank Dell. But then you could.
I would go for running back in this situation then.
So you like the 3 running backs? Well, if so, he would just do the trade and keep Saquon.
I say if he does that trade, he just keeps those guys. I wouldn't try to thin out your team anymore. But yeah, I mean, personally, I would lean against the Giants' schedule. That's the most brutal fantasy schedule, and real life schedule altogether. So, like I said, bro, I'll just say it one more time. I've probably said it 5 times now, but I would lean towards trying to facilitate a different trade of that same level. Saquon's great. He does give you a safe play. it's going to be tough sledding. I feel like there's going to be frustrating weeks, and you're going to be expecting a lot more. I do like Addison with it, though, so that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I'd probably keep the squad, bro.
I still
because
lean
injuries
a little
throughout
bit
this,
towards
like
keeping the squad.
Pollard, Etienne, and with James Conner, dude. I'm not a huge James Conner guy. If I don't know how often you watch the podcast, if you keep up with us, but James Conner's having a great season for what we thought Arizona was going to be. So I like having those three running backs in rotation, and then you have Keenan, Amari, and I would try to trade like Terry and Mike Evans or something like that, and just upgrade at like receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like upgrade your third receiver or something, or or like Amari and Mike Evans to someone that's wide receiver needy, and then get their stud on their team. I'd do something like that. Because he has 4 really good wide, and he still has Christian Watson. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has 5 really good wide receivers.
Yeah.
So I would trade. Like this. Hey, first time tuning in. Thanks, Chandler.
Yeah, bro.
Appreciate that, man.
I appreciate the like and the sub. Dude.
So
you
have 5 stud wide receivers, bro. So like, I would try to trade 2 of those guys, and go get like an absolute top 5 lock guy. Like, that's how I look at it. If someone's really thin at receiver or running back, you could even trade 2 of those receivers for, like, bro, you definitely have potential to go after a star. Like, I think you should be going after a star. I just think Saquon's too risky.
I'll leave it at that because I'm still, I think it's potato here.
Tomato.
And Saquon does seem like the best player in this trade. If I was you and I accepted this trade, I would then try to couple ETN with someone and then just keep Pollard and Saquon, because at that point you're just shooting for the best possible team and forgetting about depth. But James Conner is more than serviceable. Dude, I saw a stat on James Conner. It was like, over the past 2 seasons, he's only had 1 finish under a top 24 running back.
Yeah. No, so
he is bust proof.
Yeah.
Like, he has a great floor. 1-3, so he's trying to spice the team up. Oh, left like 60 points on my bench this week. Lost by 2. Yeah.
So that's like, if you're 1-3, like, I know how it feels. You don't ever want to overreact in fantasy, obviously, because then you kind of lead to someone over your own feet. But also, like, I do understand his issue with leaving points on the bench. I feel like that's going to be a week in, week out issue. Deciding between Amari, obviously Keenan and Amari seem to be the locks at wide receiver. Watson, Terry, and Mike Evans. With Evans being out with the hamstring, it kind of thins it out a little bit right now. But, like, deciding between those 5 guys is rough. And then you have Connor, Pollard, and ETN. Like, that's 8 guys. That's 8 dudes right there, you know?
Yeah,
you can only play 5.
Now that you mentioned that, I would do this trade if I was you, because then you have Keenan Allen, and then all you have to decide between is Watson or Tank Dell, and then Pollard, ETN. You got Saquon at flex. It seems just like you're going to be locked and loaded with your lineup. You know what you're going to get.
Right.
Obviously, yes, as you mentioned, you do trade the depth, which could be a concern. Later.
He is getting Addison too, so yeah, I totally feel your pain, bro. Having too much depth can obviously hurt you. So, man, I think you understand where I stand, and Carter's kind of close with me on that, but,
Yeah, I see it as like a somewhat. Yeah.
It's a hard one. It's a hard one. Because you love to have depth, but at the end of the day, when you're leaving 60 points on your bench, that is the worst feeling. And losing by 2, that is the worst feeling, bro. That is the absolute worst feeling. So, yeah, man, that's a real painful spot. If you can go after, try to cook up another trade, I would try to look what else you can get for those guys before you click accept on that trade. You never want to take the first thing given to you. That's the just rules of basic negotiating.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
Appreciate you, bro. There's anything, if you got lineup questions near the end of the week, we'd love to help you, because I know you're gonna have some. And just let us know if you accepted that trade or not. But getting back to this Indianapolis Rams game, Zach Moss dominated the rushing again. Only had 70 yards, though. No receptions. Did have the 2-point conversion, so he had only 9 points on the day. is going to lose that role with Taylor presumably coming back. That's what we've heard. He's practicing tomorrow on Wednesday. The receiving game was really down. Pittman had 5 targets but only 1 reception. No one had more than 3. Drew Ogletree, who I've personally never heard of, had 3 receptions, 48 yards, and a touchdown. So not a real great day for any of those receivers. Just a great day for Anthony Richardson on that Colts offense. But
Wally Cox had a good game.
well, yeah, he had 1 reception for 35 yards and a touchdown. It was a beast.
It
was a hell of a touchdown.
Game. I'll take that game.
Yeah, I mean at the tight end position, you'll take it. But Rams came out on top thanks to Puka's first touchdown of the season. So getting to another blowout. Buccaneers came into the Superdome and showed the Saints who is the leader of that division.
Yep.
So Tampa Bay's 3-1 now, guys. They're legit. Like I think we have to take them as a legit team. You know, like I don't think we can sleep on them anymore. They're 3-1. Just whooped up on the Saints. Now Derek Carr, I don't think should have been playing. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say that. We'll get to that in a second. I want to highlight the Buccaneers first. Baker with a hell of a game, dude. A 93 QBR, 3 touchdowns. Obviously had the pick, 246 yards, 30 rushing yards. I mean, he's doing it, man. I love to see it.
I think that Baker's a fun guy to watch, so I root for him. Tampa Bay's defense has really stepped up this year, which has helped out that whole team.
Yeah, they're always gonna be. So if you got Todd Bowles coaching your team, your defense better be good.
Yeah.
So guys, with Mike Evans going out, we mentioned that with our guy Chandler asking us about his trade. Mike Evans ended the game 3 receptions, 40 yards, left early with the hamstring injury, supposedly a hamstring strain, so might be out for a few weeks. Older guy, going to see how that plays out. Going to be interesting moving forward. Chris Godwin slotted in as the number 1 guy. Good to see him.
Hey guys, what's up? Are you answering questions? Need some help? I'm 1-3, but I think I had some bad luck.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Yeah. Shoot your question.
Yeah.
Our other guy, Chandler, was 1-3 also. If you had some bad luck, we'd love to hear your lineup or, decisions you're, seesaw in between. Chris Godwin, bro. A guy that we kind of have been holding out on so far this year. 11 targets, slotted in as the number. I was really happy to see him get it going as the number 1.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like, okay, does he fit with Baker, that sort of thing. But 8 receptions, 114 yards, guys. So he can get it done. Chris Godwin's a talented receiver. We've seen him, be that Pro Bowl level guy in a season before. So,
all right. So we're waiting on
him. So great stuff from Chris Godwin, guys. Cade Otton is a name I mentioned him earlier in the season. Tight end position thin, guys. We highlight this every week. He had 3 receptions, 13 yards, and a touchdown. So, I mean, he has red zone potential. We saw that last year. I think he's a guy that I don't mind you having him as the last guy on your bench if you like the roster 2 tight ends. He's matchup dependent, obviously. Not huge to touch on, but I'll leave it at that. New Orleans side of things. Derek Carr was playing with a sprained AC joint. Did not look good on his throws. Was dumping it off in a bunch to my guy.
Kamara had, 14 targets?
14 targets and 13 like unheard of, bro. But okay, so moving to Kamara, he had 11 carries for 51 yards, which is very encouraging. First game back against a stout Buccaneers defense, a 4.6 yards per carry, guys. So that's very encouraging to see out of Alvin and the Saints run offense. Like, as a Kamara owner and Kamara enthusiast, I'm happy with that. Obviously, guys, like the 13 receptions is obviously great, playing PPR, that sort of thing, but like that's not gonna do not set that as your expectation. I think that was a product of Carr not being fully healthy. He was trying to get those quick dump offs. His longest catch was 10 yards, so that means he had 12 catches for 23, which is just awful. So I think Kamara is going to be heavily involved. We saw him like that in the preseason. Obviously, first game back, seeing him get the workload he got is very encouraging. So I'm big with Kamara going season forward. The rest of this receiving game did suffer because of Derek Carr's injury. Like, we saw Olave only have 1 reception, so wasn't good out of there. But I like this team moving forward. I think Derek Carr just needs to heal.
Yeah.
So get to our guy.
So he's got Trevor Lawrence, Ryan Tannehill. All right, so full PPR.
Look at those running backs.
Yeah, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. Okay. So just kind of a standard
stuff.
I'm guessing this is a 10 team. He has Trevor Lawrence, Tannehill, running backs Kamara, Saquon, JT, Hall. So maybe even a 12
It
team.
might be 12.
Yeah, no, this is probably 12. Devontae, Terry, Jacoby, Amari, Godwin, Palmer, and he has tight end Kels.
Yo.
So somehow he got his hands on
How
Kels
is he
and
1 and
Saquon,
3?
Probably at the top.
Oh, well, because he's been waiting on his running
I want
backs.
to
That's
see
why.
what moves can I do with my running backs? I mean, I can trade away one of them.
12 team.
Okay.
Okay, so obviously T-Law's he's got the QB, tight end, and defense down. Like he's straight on that. His receivers, Devontae, Terry, and Amari. Those are the 3 guys I'm really looking at, and he's got Godwin also. So
Got Jacoby Myers.
yeah, I mean, I just like those 4 guys more than I like Myers, but Myers is good nonetheless. Running back though, I like. Obviously, I'm assuming you're listening right now. I'm a big Kamara enthusiast. I don't know if you've tuned in to us before. I love Kamara. Saquon, we just touched on with our other guy Chandler. Saquon has easily the toughest schedule moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Just lost 133 because of the Amari Cooper. Oh, dude, that sucks. Oh, that sucks, man.
Bro, maybe that's why these dudes are trying to trade away Amari right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, guys, I would not overreact to Amari Cooper's game because Dorian Thompson-Robinson was playing versus Watson, and we've seen what Cooper does with Watson. First time tuning in.
Thank you.
Welcome, bro. Welcome to the pod. Maybe a new fantasy friend, hopefully. But, yeah, man, I mean, I would totally look to package one of your running backs. I think Breece Hall is in for a big week against Denver. So, but, yeah, I mean, Carter and I should have started Godwin. Yeah.
We all should have.
Easy to say in retrospect, man. Hindsight's 2020. But getting to his running backs, because that is what he specifically asked about. I like Kamara moving forward. I would hold on to him. Those other 3, I feel like you can pick any one of them to throw into a trade package. I do think he has the potential to use Saquon and one of those receivers to go get like a top 12 overall player. You know, or like if you can package Saquon and like Amari or Devontae Smith, bro, and go get
like CMC.
Yeah, man. Like if one guy in your team has a stud but he's struggling with depth or injuries, like bro, you have the firepower for sure. Because with JT coming, like you and I like JT a lot coming back in this Anthony Richardson led offense. So, yeah, man, I would keep Kamara and either of those 3 running backs. I think Saquon obviously has the highest trade value out of them, unless some guys in your league is really high on JT. So, I would use one of those 2. Should I try and package Hall and Godwin for an Amon-Ra kind of player? Yeah,
if you could get that,
if you can get
for
that,
sure.
yeah, I like that, man. I like how your head's working. I love Amon-Ra this year. Amon-Ra was not practicing today. He's dealt with a little bit of injuries, but obviously a very talented player. He was my wide receiver 5 on the season coming in. I think you have great depth at both of your spots. So any 2 guys that you can combine in a trade to get a better, more consistent guy, like I'm all for it, dude. Like
Yeah.
you could really pick any 2 of your guys to use, and I would have no problem. I think obviously Saquon, Kamara, JT for your running backs, and then at receiver I would say Devontae, Amari. And then Godwin and Terry are kind of neck and neck for me. I think Godwin moves up with Mike Evans being out. I think you could use Godwin as good trade bait with him coming off the big week and Mike Evans being out.
Yeah, so
I could
Godwin and
whoa.
so I could try and get Cup. The guy was asking for Kamara and Godwin, but I rejected it. Dude, go get Cooper Cup. Yeah. And yes, go get Cooper Cup.
Wow.
And win your league right there.
So
You'd have Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams with Saquon and Jonathan Taylor.
mightn't offer Saquon and Jacoby. I mean, if you would do that. So personally, bro, for your team, I like you using one of your receivers and running backs to go get a running back. That's what I would do because I think Breece Hall's kind of iffy moving forward. I think he's just really a matchup-based player. He's very talented, but a matchup-based player in what we've seen right now. So go back up to his team. So yeah, man, I would try to you have great depth at receiver. So if you can keep, Devontae and Amari, and then trade like Terry or Godwin with Saquon and go get. I mean, let me look at the top running backs. I mean, CMC's obviously CMC, Pollard, Bijan. Yeah, one of those three guys. Maybe even Kyron Williams. I mean, he's looking like a beast right now. But
Eckler.
yeah, Eckler. But yeah, if you could get Pollard, McCaffrey, and Bijan would be the three guys I would go after. That's who I would be asking in your league for. If you could trade Saquon and one of those receivers and get one of them, I think that would be the CMC owner won't trade. Oh, okay. I would look at Bijan, bro. I don't know what the guy in your league is looking like right now, but if you could trade Saquon and one of those receivers for Bijan, and then you have Kamara, Bijan, and JT, like, that'd be insane. Because I like Bijan's outlook a lot more than Saquon this year.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's not much of an upgrade. Like, Saquon to Bijan seems a little lateral, in my opinion. I mean, maybe Bijan is... Okay, say maybe Bijan is, like, the running back 5 rest of the season, or even better. But, like, how much lower is Saquon? Like, realistically, if Saquon plays the rest of his games...
I don't see Saquon's ceiling like that. Right? I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm a little low. I like looking at the schedule. It just makes me throw up, dude. Like his schedule is just so. Bijan guy has Eckler and Jacobs. He's looking for wide receivers, not running backs.
Eckler and Jacobs.
I mean, if you're comfortable with going for a stud wide receiver, go for it. I just think if you were able to, you just have such insane depth at wide receiver that I think going for a running back would be your best move, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, and if he's got Bijan, Eckler, and Jacobs, and you want to go after Bijan or Eckler,
I would trade 2 of your receivers, to be honest.
I would just, you have wide receivers, so go and get, in my opinion, I like Eckler a little bit more than Bijan just because of the workload. We know that Eckler is, the number one guy there, but they're pretty even. I still like Eckler a little bit more. But if you want to trade, like, Amari Cooper and Chris Godwin and go get, I mean, dude, you just have so much depth. It's actually insane.
I mean, bro.
If I'm you, I'm going after, like, a top 5 player. I would go after, like, Justin Jefferson or something like that. I mean, you could trade Devontae Adams and, like, Saquon and go get...
Oh, wow, that is Devontae Adams. I was thinking Devontae Smith the whole time. Holy crap. No, that's Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Because Devontae Smith spells his name differently.
Yeah. I'm assuming that's Adams. I've been assuming that's... Eckler owner is so high, Eckler, because...
I would go for Bijan, bro. If you can trade, like, a top receiver and then trade, like... If you can trade... Who's this top... Oh, yeah. If you can trade Adams and then, like, let's say Breece Hall. If you can trade Adams and Breece Hall for Bijan, I would do that, certainly.
He's got Kamara, Saquon, JT, and Bijan, dude. That just seems like...
That's insane.
Too much, in my opinion.
Yeah, but then you package some of those other guys and then go get a stud receiver. That's what I would do.
So you would...
I think you have to trade 2 for 1 and then trade 2 for 1 again.
Yeah, dude, you should be looking to make multiple trades here.
Yeah, you have great depth, bro, and he's a 12. Yeah, for a 12 team, man, don't panic either being 1-3 because, bro, your team is nasty with JT coming back. I really like your receivers also. I'd probably like to trade Terry just because I think he's gonna be the more inconsistent out of that group. I'd probably like to trade Saquon and Terry if you can package that for something. Maybe I'm kind of lower on Saquon than I should be. What's he said? I'm not trying to trade Adams. Raiders fans, untouchable for me. So, yeah, man, I mean, I would definitely look to trade either 2 of your receivers for someone, or my first option would be for you to trade one of your running backs and one of your receivers for you should be getting nothing less than a top 12 guy, like, overall. Because you have great depth, you have great players. I don't really mind who you trade. Like,
I'm super cool with Cup and Kamara
Cup for Godwin and Kamara.
Cup for dude. I think Cooper Kupp is the guy you go for. I would accept that trade.
Yeah. So I mean, bro, I hope that helps you somewhat. You have great depth. You have a great team. You just have a lot of it's almost like what Chandler was going with just too much depth, and it's a headache. You're gonna be getting screwed on a week to week basis. So, I would definitely go try to trade for a star. You have the right thing in mind. It's just a matter of, what your league mates are gonna do, what you can give away. Like I just think you have a plethora of moves, a plethora of options. So I think you can move on it for sure, no doubt.
So if I'm you, I'm keeping.
So
you can move almost any piece.
Obviously Devontae's
you're
not
keeping Devontae. I would try to keep Amari Cooper if possible, and then just literally I think everyone else is on the shelf. Maybe try to keep JT because I like his upside coming back. But then
he's gonna be fresh
other than
too.
that, dude, just start sending trades away and go after people like Justin Jefferson, like Eckler, like Cooper Kupp.
Or like Keenan Allen, bro. You should be going after top guy like Keenan, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Stephon, AJ Brown. Like you should be going after top guys.
Okay, all right. So let's just answer this question real quick, and then we'll get back to that.
Okay.
Would you trade away Thielen and Javonte for Waddle PPR? We were talking about Waddle before we started this. I would. I certainly would.
I mean, obviously, I'd like to see the rest of your team, and this is Chaka, so hopefully you're still watching, bro. I think like Thielen's on a great run right now. He's put up 3 straight weeks, I believe it is, of great production. Waddle's a guy for me that's hard to gauge right now just because of being out that 1 week, and we haven't seen him be great. Like Javonte's obviously gonna be hurt for a week or two, so I don't know what the rest of your running backs look like. I'm assuming you don't need them if you're trying to trade for a receiver. Waddle's an explosive guy. I don't mind you making that trade. I like it. I think you're obviously getting the best player in that trade. That's something Carter and I look for in trades. Mm-hmm. I think that's what you should always look for in a trade. You're getting the best guy. Thielen, I feel like, is a guy that's going to flame out by the end of the year. That's usually what. Yeah. So I mean, he's having a great year right now. So hopefully you started him in the few weeks he's done well. I would make that move if you're being offered that. I would accept that because I think Waddle has nowhere to go but up.
Right.
So yeah, man, I like that trade for you. If you're getting Waddle, I would move on that. So he says Puka has me worried. So yeah, man, I'm a Puka owner. And we touched on this earlier. I don't know how long you've been watching. I think Puka's gonna be involved, no doubt. Like I said, I'm a Puka owner. Kupp's gonna slot in as the alpha still. Like I don't think that's any question. Obviously, it is valid to question, what are the ceilings of both guys. But I think that Rams offense is explosive enough to support the both of them. I like them, so I don't mind. Like I think that move for Kupp is solid. I do really like Kamara. I'm a Kamara fan. And then who was the other guy who was training with him? Godwin. Yeah, I mean Godwin's gonna be really solid the next few weeks. But yeah, man, I think you should. Like I'll end it with this. You should certainly. Well, what he's saying in his last comment. Week 1, Kelsey's injury, leaving Jacoby on the bench killed me. Week 2, Mike Evans also killed me. And week 4, Amari killed me.
So any good waiver wire pickups third priority. Man, I mean this week's kind of
okay. Also,
okay. Let me say this: if you're worried about Puka and you go get Cooper Kupp, someone will certainly trade Kupp and someone for Justin Jefferson. So
that's fair,
dude. You have so much depth that you could literally just go ahead and get Kupp for. Like the price you're getting him at, I would never trade away Cooper.
So
for that.
I want to address his waiver question real quick, bro. If I were you, like I'm not worried about waivers. Like your team is like I want to emphasize this. Like your team is really really good.
I like the Lions matchup this week.
The Lions
for defense.
Well, yeah. If there's a defense, he has Dallas defense though.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, so he's not looking at. Yeah, man. So I would not be looking for waivers. Your team is very very solid. I think you're about as good as you can get. I just think you either wait it out through the season, your team's going to come back up, or you go and make that superstar trade that I think Carter and I are talking about. Obviously, I think you want to pair a running back and a receiver, if not 2 receivers, and go get a stud running back and then another solid guy. Like the Saquon, I like the Saquon Addison thing. I'm just not super high on Saquon due to that schedule. So I like that the essence of that trade. just maybe someone else. If you can get Pollard, I really like that.
Okay. So, yeah. I hope that helps. We kind of, like, went around, gave you a couple different, like, looks at how you could think about doing it. You're certainly looking for a superstar here.
Yeah.
So,
'Cause
don't accept anything less than a top 10 player.
Like, I just want to say, like, again, emphasize, like, your team is great, bro. Like great.
Yeah.
So.
Third priority. Okay. If you do want to pick, I think that if you want to take a shot at the Broncos running back, you can, but there's really no, like, huge guys. You have Kels, so you don't even need Ferguson or
It
anything.
depends,
like that.
yeah.
Someone was offering Stroud to me, but I still trust T-Law. Yeah,
Also,
dude.
Sam Howell's a really good stream this week.
Okay.
Going against Chicago, like we say it all the week, every week. Going against Chicago. If you're looking for someone else, Sam Howell just comes to my mind as a Redskins fan, obviously.
Now that you mentioned, like, a quarterback, I would trade away Trevor Lawrence and one of your pieces and go get, like, Herbert.
Yeah. So,
bro, that would be nasty.
I want to get back to Chaka real quick. He sent us his team. So,
Okay.
he has Lamar. His running backs are Swift, Kamara. Oh my gosh.
Dude, how are you guys getting these teams, bro? Lamar, Swift,
Kamara and
Kyron, Javonte, Moss, Akers, Olave, Garrett Wilson, Thielen, Sutton, Elijah Moore,
Okay.
Andrews, and Goat. Jake Elliott.
So,
Jake Elliott is Goat.
100% make that trade for Waddle. 100%.
Yeah.
Because bro, if you have Swift, Kamara, and Kyron, like, those are 3 lineup locks.
Yeah.
With Lamar, and then you'll have Olave, Garrett Wilson, and Waddle. Like, yeah, bro, 100% make that. That's a no brainer.
Yeah.
That's why I'm targeting better wide receivers. So yeah, you're already on the same page as we are, or we're on the same page as you. Yeah, bro, 100% make that trade. You're stacked at running back. Like, those first 3 are lineup locks right now, and then Olave is a lineup lock. I think Waddle and Wilson gives you that flexibility in terms of matchups. We saw Garrett Wilson have a good game against the Chiefs in terms of volume and efficiency. So, but yeah, man, 100% make that.
Do you think I should pick up Howell and start him over T-Law?
Hold on.
All right, I'll go on record and say no.
Who does Jacksonville have this week? Jacksonville has the Bills. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Obviously my bias might be seeping in, as you can see. But Sam Howell looked good against the Eagles' defense, which has been bad against the pass, but also, like, bro, their Bears are trash.
Yeah, they're
like,
facing the Bears.
So, I mean, bro, that's not. I don't think it's that bold to say yes. Start him over T-Law right now. I think Howell certainly has the potential to be finish as a QB1 this top 12 quarterback this week. Yeah, no problem, Chaka, man. I definitely go make that trade. You have great depth at running back.
Send it.
And giving up your running back 4 presumably, and your wide receiver 3 to go upgrade at wide receiver 3. Yeah, man, 100% go do that.
Mm-hmm.
So good stuff for you, Chaka. Welcome to the page, man. If it's your first time or whatever, but for our other guy, yeah, man. If you got a guy on your bench you're willing to drop for Howell, I'd pick him up. I have no problem with you starting him over T-Law if you like him more this week. That's more so up to you. T-Law is obviously the superior quarterback, but Howell has the matchup. That's for sure.
Yep, Stroud. I'm guessing that he's asking for a 1-for-1 trade here. Stroud for T-Law.
I would hope not.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that.
No.
I mean, I'd start 2 Washington players would be starting Terry and Howell.
Yeah.
So he's looking to start Terry.
Yeah, I mean, Terry's going to be a beast, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you want everything against the Bears, don't you?
Yeah. So, I mean, I like that stack because of Amari's bye, right? I love that stack. Yeah, I mean, that kind of gives you more incentive to play Howell. I love that stack. We saw Terry have a great week last week against the Eagles. So, I don't mind that at all, man. Obviously, you're starting Terry. Who's his other guys? Probably Terry, Godwin, and Devontae this week would be my guesses, right?
Terry, Godwin.
Yeah, Terry, Godwin, and Devontae.
I think no. Godwin has a bye.
Yeah, you're right.
So
So he'll
Jacoby.
probably play his 3 running backs then. He'll probably play Kamara, Saquon, and Breece Hall if Saquon plays this week. He could be in a tough spot this week,
You
dude.
could go ahead and get Cooper Cup.
Yeah, I mean, if you can make a
That's
move
crazy,
this
dude.
week, bro, would definitely move on that.
Like, bro,
Yeah.
if you want a league-winning player, talk about fuck. I mean,
He's a big Cooper Cup guy.
yeah. If he plays, like, he's insane. I mean,
So my issue with making that trade is like, this guy should go getting someone that has no questions next to his name. You know,
Yeah,
like that's how
Justin Jefferson.
that's how I feel. Yeah, like you should be getting someone that
Or
has
Tyreek
no
Hill.
questions next to his name. Yeah, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs. If you're looking for a receiver, someone like that. Even AJ Brown, I don't mind. Amon Ra. Yeah, man, like you should be going getting studs.
I like Cooper Cup. You would say one of the other guys, but if you already have Cooper Cup in the bag, man, in my opinion, you go for him. Or, as you're saying, any of those other guys. Like, you're
Yeah.
getting a top 10 player.
Right.
Yes, I mean, Godwin and Amari both have
Right.
buys.
So he'll probably. We'll have to see what Saquon's doing.
Or some plays.
I'd play
T-Law,
T-Law.
Saquon, JT, Devontae McLaurin, Tennant, Kels, Flex,
That's such a dirty team, bro. Saquon, JT, Kamara, Devontae McLaurin. Yeah, I mean, bro, your team's nice. Like, it's gonna develop throughout the season. I would definitely try to make a trade, though. I have no issue with you making a trade.
Yeah.
Like that's a solid ass lineup, no doubt about it. Especially with Kelsey as his tight end too.
Dude, Kels at tight end is so
Kelsey at
sick.
tight end, you're flexing Kamara. Hopefully JT's back this week. That's gonna be huge. Him and Saquon and Kamara, like your team's solid, man. You and the fact you have Amari and Godwin on your bench right now, like that speaks. And Brees Hall, like you could trade all three of those guys and go get someone, bro. So you definitely have potential for a trade. You have the firepower. You have the you're winning the arms race. That's for sure.
Yeah. That should be fine. Let me tell you who I'm playing in a sec. Okay.
So, all right, we're going to move to the next game. Minnesota and Carolina, guys. Kirk Cousins had a bit of an odd game, not a great game. Carter's highlighted the Panthers' defense quite a few times this podcast so far this season. 12 of 19, so real low volume. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Alexander Madison, a fairly efficient game. 17.
No, I highlighted their pass defense. Their
Yeah.
run defense has been
Well, yeah,
absolutely
I meant to
terrible.
say pass defense, yeah. Alexander Madison, guys, 17 carries, 95 yards. Obviously, Cam Akers' first game. We'll still yet to see how that's worked out. Gonna be interesting. Madison did have 1 reception for 3 yards, but Jefferson, guys, is Justin Jefferson. So, you go get him, bro. That's the guy I would be trying to get. Although it's gonna be a hard one. Hawkinson was a bust this week. Tight end, it happened, guys. One thing I want to highlight: Jordan Addison, only 1 target. There were only 19 to go around though, so it's no panic or anything, but it's just something to keep an eye on. Just interesting development. Obviously, he's still number 2, still a very talented player, first round pick. So I'm not worried about him. A guy that I love just had a true bust week. Cam Akers though is gonna be interesting.
He's got Goff, Connor, Aaron Jones, CD, Judy, Hawkinson, Ridley, McManus, and Bengals. Yeah, you should wax him.
Yeah, I mean he's got a solid team. You got Connor, CD. Goff's solid. Hawkinson, Ridley's still kind of an unknown, but yeah, I would say your team's better too, bro.
Definitely better,
Team's
especially
definitely
if you go ahead and upgrade.
Right. I would say even if you want to make the move after this week when those other guys are back off of bye, it just kind of makes your players more appealing. But I would say get your trade talks going throughout your league. I don't know if you guys have a league group. Like, we have a league group chat. If you can communicate with the players in your league, I would do that before actually sending proposals to see what you can really get and negotiate like that. But yeah, bro, I would say definitely try to upgrade for sure.
Bijan.
Like, there's no doubt, man. You have the potential. In case JT isn't playing, I start Brees. Yeah. So yeah,
Team's still better.
bro, Brees is a big start for me with going against Denver.
Mhm.
We're seeing what Khalil Herbert just did. Like, Brees is he's a start. He might be my lock of the week this week on our Friday episode.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a big game for Brees. That's for sure. But Carolina, guys, Bryce Young, no touchdowns for this game. Had 204 yards, 10 rushing yards. Not a big game from him. Still yet to see him kind of develop on a weak team. Obviously 0-4. Chuba took the bulk of the carries.
Mm.
Very interesting. Miles Sanders was dealing with a groin injury. Don't know how much that played into him and his workload. He did still see 3 receptions for 13 yards. That Miles Sanders is a guy I really want to do well throughout this season. It's something that's developed. It's hard for me to see Miles Sanders in a path towards, finishing as a mid RB2 like we had him pegged as.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough for him.
Yeah.
I still think with the volume you have to play him.
Right.
Unless you're looking really good.
Hopefully it's a softer matchup.
Do you think I'd start Brees over any of my other running backs, supposing everyone is healthy?
He has Saquon and Kamara. I would not start him over Saquon or Kamara. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Or JT.
I wouldn't start him.
Oh,
over
well,
JT.
dang. I'd probably start Brees over Saquon this week, to be honest. I think Brees has to be a lineup lock,
Yeah, Brees you're playing.
in all honesty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brees you're definitely playing. So.
Because the Giants play the Dolphins. Dolphins have a pretty good run defense.
If JT's not playing, you just slot him in at flex, right?
Yeah, if JT isn't playing, you play Brees, obviously. But he says, assuming everyone's healthy, I would play Kamara, JT, and Brees. That's what I would do.
You would sit Saquon.
His first game back against the Dolphins, bro.
I mean, that's a tough sit.
Brees is a lineup lock to me. He has to. I mean, unless you can.
If you're gonna sit anyone, I would sit JT. Just because
He does
of
play the
Zach
Titans.
Moss. He plays the Titans. I mean, he's doing great, but he isn't getting them touches. Yeah. Yeah, Brees.
Talking about Brees, I assume.
It's gonna be an easy matchup against the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm looking for this is a classic bounce back week for a guy like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like going against a soft defense like Denver. I mean, I really like Brees. Obviously, you have options, bro. We've said this time and time again so far with our interaction.
Yeah.
I think go with your gut. Obviously, I really like Brees this week. That's the last time I'll say that. But
I think that, if you're gonna sit any of your running backs,
you say JT.
I would sit. Yeah, JT or Kamara. I think you got. I mean, Saquon's your first round pick. Like, it's hard to sit him. Probably second because you got Kels, but it's. I would say either JT or Kamara, and play Brees if you're gonna play Brees. I'd probably try to trade him away. You got the stuff, man. I'm also kind of high on JT because it's a contract year. Yeah, JT's gonna be great.
Yeah, no, I think when JT comes back, man, him and Anthony. This is something Carter and I have been waiting on all season, is to see JT and Anthony Richardson in the backfield there. He might get vultured this season a little bit, obviously to be expected with Anthony Richardson back there, but bro, I mean,
if Zach Moss is doing what he's doing, bro,
yeah,
you
exactly,
can only,
exactly.
imagine
JT's 1.5 times that. So
it's always easy to say until it actually happens,
right.
But
just projecting. To finish up this Carolina game, Adam Thielen, great game. Terrace Marshall, 10 targets, led the team in targets, 9 receptions. Obviously, an inefficient 56 yards. So, I think Thielen's good right now. Might flame out if you can use trade value for him. Like our one guy was saying, Chaka, he's trading Adam Thielen and Javonte Williams for Jalen Waddle, which is a great buy. Like, that's the definition of buy low, guys. When we say that, something like that, if you can get that off one of your league mates, that is textbook buy low right there. Mm-hmm. I love that for him. Moving to our next game. So Minnesota got the dub there, guys. They finally got their first win of the season. Carolina is still winless. Texans, Steelers. Ooh, this is some juicy information right here. Kenny Pickett out with the knee injury, supposedly practicing on Wednesday, did not have a great game. Trubisky's slotting in as the backup there if Pickett does not play. Gotta talk about Najee, bro. I gotta do this. Clearly biased. He's on my team. Not that I'm a Steelers fan or anything. Couldn't care less about the Steelers. Najee averaged 5 yards per carry, and he also had a team leading 1 reception for 32 yards. Yardage led the team. So, Najee Harris, some quick stats for you at the running back position. Let me get to it. He is 14th in juke rate, he is tied for 13th in evaded tackles. He is, where is it? Second in total breakaway runs. Second in breakaway run percentage. So, guys, the narrative that he's not explosive, that's what I'm breaking down right now. Like, second in breakaway runs, second in breakaway percentage, second in juke rate, or not second in juke rate, sorry, 14th in juke rate, 13th in evaded tackles. Like, it doesn't look good.
That's the thing. He's breaking away from the negative 3-yard line.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, but a
five.
breakaway tackle is like or a breakaway run is a total carry of 15 yards or more.
Total.
Yeah, that's not like running side to side. That's gaining 15 yards.
Okay.
Yeah, so like, I'm not saying Najee's like some great running back or anything, but there is like there's something there obviously. Like I just don't think they use him correctly. I'm not saying Najee's like a start every week. He's borderline in my lineup right now. I'm probably going to be sitting him this week, but I just want to like highlight those stats real quick just to show that I'm not completely out on him and that there is some good for Najee Harris. There is hope. Obviously, he goes against a tough Baltimore defense this week, so that's going to be rough. But I just want to highlight that he's getting the bulk of the carries right now, and Jalen Warren isn't some super efficient running back either.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just shiftier, quicker guy, but his average on the year is not great. Obviously, he's a great receiver. He got 6 receptions, but the majority of that was on the last drive of the game. So I just want to highlight that real quick. But Najee did not have a great week either. Did finish with like 10 points or 11 points PPR. But guys, Pickett's obviously the thing to watch on that offense right now. It's going to be tough sledding, clearly with or without him.
Mm-hmm.
Really. So that Steelers offense is not taking the leap that I certainly expected. You're kind of following me on it, not as high as I was. I thought we were going to see a real breakout from Pickett, bounce back from Najee Harris, that sort of thing. Not seeing it.
So he said, dude, how did Saquon fall to 306?
I mean, so he got Kelsey.
Wait, so this is a standard? Like, you didn't snake this?
Nah, he's probably just saying the 6th pick. He definitely snaked, bro. No one just drafts like.
Oh, 6 is the middle. Okay.
Yeah.
Saquon fell to 306.
Saquon, Amari, Brees Hall. Hey, my guy, I got Kamara in the 7th also, bro. Good for you. McLaurin fell to the 8th? T-Law in the 9th? Holy cow. And from that, I don't really remember. That's weak. Yeah, bro.
Taylor by trading away Ford after the big game versus Titans.
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I like that. Because Ford
Oh, my gosh.
Ford was definitely the sell high candidate.
Absolutely fleeced the guy. Yes, you did. Oh, my goodness. Bro, yeah, you killed your draft. Made the great trade. The fact that you're 1-3, I think he was 1-3 too, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, bro. Nah, like you're straight. I make a big trade. Absolutely fleece the guy. I'm weak. Yeah, you sure did, bro. That's what we were talking about coming off of this week too. Being able to, if you can trade Ford, trade him. Yeah, bro. No, great stuff. We can leave it off at him just being able to make a trade. He has the firepower, clearly drafted well, has depth, has everything a team wants. You have a league-winning team, no doubt about it. Mm-hmm. I just think it's thinning out your group a little bit just to be more sure. Relieve yourself of the headache. Yeah. Like that's what you're going to be dealing with as of now. Yeah, man. You got a great squad. You made a great trade there for JT. Obviously, Saquon, JT, Kamara, Brees Hall is amazing. And then Godwin, Amari, Devontae, and McLaurin.
Crazy.
That's nuts. With Kelsey at your tight end?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, bro. You're super straight. Just go make a big move. That's I'll leave it at that. You can make a big move. Go try to make one. I love your team. Whoever you choose to trade, I don't think it's that big of a deal because you have so much firepower. Just go make a big trade for someone. I'll leave it at that.
Go grab a top 10 guy.
Yeah, go grab a top 10 guy. You're certainly in position to go do that. So Houston, Carter, your guy, CJ Stroud, man.
Mm-hmm.
I love it too. I love me some CJ Stroud. He's doing it. He's getting it done. Top quarterback waiver wire pickup season long type of guy.
Yeah.
Really love him. 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 300 yards on 16 completions.
Yep. He does it every week.
2 touchdowns.
300 yards is his thing.
Yeah. Damian Pierce got rolling a little bit. Still a 3-yard per carry average, but guys, 24 carries, 81 yards. A reception for 27. So good to see Damian Pierce kind of get things rolling a little bit. Hopefully he can build on that going into next week. Nico Collins. Read it. Say it.
Yeah, just back to C.J. Stroud. First quarterback in NFL history to have at least 900 passing yards and 4 touchdown passes and 0 interceptions in his first 3 starts of his career, and then just continued on that historic start to his NFL career.
Love to see it. Nico Collins, guys, had 7 receptions, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. Nico's just a big play guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we've known him to be. That's what I was advertising him as going into the season. Hopefully you got your hands on some Nico Collins shares. I love Nico Collins, one of my favorite receivers. I've had him every single year he's been in the league. Been waiting for this moment. Had him on my bench, unfortunately. Still put up 166 points. Not to brag, but yeah, guys. Nico Collins is an absolute monster. I think he's in your lineup week in, week out. Seeing how C.J. Stroud is playing, I think that's great stuff. Dalton Schultz sighting a touchdown. We were crapping on him going into the week. And tight end position, as murky as it is, that's just another point there. So, rosterable, playable is another discussion. But at this point, guys, anyone in the tight end position is playable.
Yeah, Cole Kmet is now the tight end 3 after having one good game.
So after Tank Dell put up that crazy game, only 3 targets, had two touches on the ground for 13 yards. So they're clearly trying to get him the ball. It's just a matter of him being consistent. I think Nico undoubtedly is the number 1 guy there. So that's going to be interesting with Tank Dell moving forward. He's a guy that I think is a spot start in your lineup. Nothing more, really.
So he said he's kind of interested in Olave.
You're talking to an Olave owner.
Yeah, I'm an Olave owner. Obviously, a disappointing week last week. You expect him to, step it back up, but I don't know. Maybe he won't really. I don't think he's not. You could get someone better than Olave.
I mean, I would say if he can trade minimal for a lot, like if he can trade like McLaurin and Brees for Olave, I just think that thins out his team a little bit, makes things a little more obvious in terms of picking, and then he could go make another trade on top of that. But it's not like a huge leap really. I do think Olave is really good. I think he'll finish as a low-end wide receiver 1. That's kind of how we had him pegged throughout the season going in. I do agree with his assessment. It won't impact as much. I think, bro, like we're saying, go get one of those top, a guy that's a lock week in, week out as a top, 5 guy. I think you have the ability to go do that. I would certainly encourage it, especially with having 4 top receivers or 4 top running backs like you do.
Do you think I can pull it off?
You talking about Olave? I assume he's talking about Olave.
I mean, you could definitely get Olave with your players.
Doubt. I just think you should try to start out with a low ball offer, sort of, if that makes sense. Like we said, like McLaurin and Brees Hall sort of deal.
Yeah. Or like Brees and Godwin.
Yeah, something like that. I would start off with, because like you said, Olave's not putting you over the. I do think he's going to be a great asset. I'm going to offer a 1-for-1 trade with. I mean, yeah, bro, that's a great starting point. That's the key to trades is start off with a lower offer and then see where that guy's at with it. Especially if you need running backs and Brees has a juicy matchup. So there you go, bro. Yeah, no, you got a great logic going into this, or McLaurin, yeah. Mm-hmm. So certainly start with Jacoby to throw in there with him in the mix because Jacoby is having a solid season so far, and then upgrade to McLaurin if he's not doing that. I think you can sacrifice those 2 players. I do Olave is a clear upgrade above McLaurin.
Yeah,
I would say, and then you'd have Devontae, Cooper, and Olave. So you'd have Devontae and Olave, and then you'd have Saquon, Kamara, and JT. Yeah,
then, bro. Okay, I'm gonna bring Cup back up because I'm just thinking bro, what if he had Devontae, Cup and Olave, and then...
Well, he wouldn't have Cup and Olave.
Why? Because Brees?
No, because he wouldn't be me. Are you saying if you made like 2 separate trades?
Yeah, why not just do 2 trades? And then so who was he trading for Cup? He was trading
Amari,
and I think it was like,
scroll back up real quick. It was like when it started.
yeah. Okay. Kamara
and Godwin for Cup.
Dude, you could have Devontae,
Cup.
Cooper Cup, and Chris Olave.
Yeah, if you were to make that additional trade with Breece Hall and someone.
And then you wouldn't have Kamara and you wouldn't have Breece, but you'd have Saquon and JT. Bro. Oh my God. Like,
yeah,
no one is going to beat a healthy lineup.
Right. You'd just be really thin at running back, which is something I don't like because Saquon's also kind of a risk in my opinion. Like, he's the one guy I would try trading away at running back if I were him. Just because his name holds more weight. You can get a better player. Like, I'll say it again.
What's up, fellas? Olave is a must start every week, damn near.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Totally agree, man.
Yes, he is.
Side-eye Muppet. I agree with you, bro.
Do you think I should start Olave over Amari if I get him? Yep.
Yes. Like, we love Amari, but Olave's as side-eye Muppet saying, Olave is a start week in, week out.
Mm-hmm.
Amari's great, but Olave clears Amari.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know how big of a deal the Watson injury is, but yeah, certainly Olave. I'm gonna talk to the Cup owner. Hey man, not a bad idea.
Bro. Go after WR1, bro.
Right now, yeah, he's on ass right now. Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, where are we at in this? I love doing this, bro. I love interacting with everyone. Moving to your Raiders-Chargers game. Rookie Aiden O'Connell got sacked 6 times by Khalil Mack to get his first sacks on the season. Gonna offer
Godwin and
Kamara. Good for you, bro. Sad to see you part ways with Kamara, but yeah, man, if you can get a guy like Cup, if he rejects it, can I give up Amari and Kamara? Carter's going to tell you yes.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
That's a lot of value in my opinion. For a guy that has, like, I'll say it, bro. You should be getting someone that has no question marks next to him. Like, that's how I feel about the guys that you have on your squad and what you can offer people. Yeah, so, I mean, Carter's going to tell you yes to Amari and Kamara for Cup. I would tell you that you should be getting someone that has no question marks next to him if you're trading those 2 type of players. That's my view on it. Josh Jacobs bounced back week.
Mm-hmm.
17 carries, 58 yards, a touchdown, and had a career-high 81 receiving yards on 8 receptions. So, obviously, I think this is a product of rookie quarterback playing. Devontae Adams, though, got knocked out in the first half, came back, got 8 receptions, 75 yards. Just a testament to who he is. He's a beast. Week in, week out.
Yeah.
He's a dog.
He said, or I could offer Saquon and Jacoby.
I like that for Cup more than I like Kamara and Amari, bro. That's like 2. I just don't like Saquon season long, bro. Like Saquon with the light question marks that he comes in with. Getting someone like Cup that has a bit of question marks, like I like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I would try to go first. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Either of those guys for Cup is good.
Yeah.
Good. Should I trade Amon-Ra for Josh Allen? Whoo, 8.
What's up, Team Money?
So
he's 18 PPR, 2 flex.
2 flex. So he's got Fields. You definitely need a new QB. Jacobs, Kyron, Amon-Ra, Olave, Ridley, Chase, Hawkinson, Ramondre, Burrow, T-Law, Javonte on the bench, Jerry Jeudy, Cup.
Whew.
Oh, okay. So you got Cup coming in. So I'm
okay.
So the starting lineup right now is going to be Kyron and Jacobs. Trade Amon-Ra for
Josh Allen.
Allen.
His receivers Olave, Ridley, Cup, and Jamar Chase. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm a Fields owner, bro, so I feel your pain. I think if you can make that move, like, yeah, you are thin at running back, so I wouldn't be opposed to you trading for a running back versus trying to like. I think Fields is gonna be solid season long. Obviously, Josh Allen has that. Josh Allen is in another atmosphere. I'm not opposed to you doing it. I certainly would say go for it,
He
but
does have Burrow. Which,
and he has T-Law.
dude, yeah, I would try to trade away.
So
I mean, dude, you're gonna have Amon-Ra, and this is also 2 flexes.
Right.
So you got Amon-Ra, Olave.
Because he has Cup coming back, so he does
Cup.
have an expendable wide receiver, kind of, you know?
Well, he's got-
I'm sure that's his view on it. Because he's starting 4 wide receivers with Jacobs and Kyron being his 2 running backs. Like, those aren't movable.
Yeah.
So he's starting 4 wide receivers. Yes, side-eye Muppet.
Question?
Ask.
Yes.
Ask. But, yeah, T-Money. I like that move. I do think having 4 quarterbacks, I would try to move Fields for something. Or if you can drop some of those quarterbacks to, you know, just get some depth. I don't know what with an eight man league, your waiver wire is a little different than us playing 12-man. So I would say go pick up some guys because having 4 quarterbacks in your roster is really ineffective if you're not in a super flex. So I don't mind that trade at all with Cup coming back. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a solid trade.
Yeah,
I
'cause
do think
8-team, you really need those studs in
right.
every single
Yeah,
position.
exactly. Depth is not the name of the game in an 8-team. I would maybe look to go after a running back. I don't know your running back depth. Get Allen? I'm a depth drop all those. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean, obvious move. Agree with you there. So yeah, man. I mean, Josh Allen is a different stratosphere. Obviously, those studs you'll get cut back. So you'd be looking at Josh Allen's, Jacobs, Kyron, Olave, Cup, Ridley, Chase, like Hawkinson, bro. Like, yeah, I mean, I like that trade for you. It elevates your ceiling. You're getting those stars. That's what you want in an 8-man, so I have no problem with it. So what's side eye saying?
Should I drop Roshan Johnson for Romeo Dobbs? He's on waivers.
2 guys you really like.
Johnson isn't building his case behind Herbert. I'm deciding on who's the better trade chip for a must-start running back between the 2.
I'll let you speak first.
I'm going, yeah, I would drop Roshan Johnson for Romeo Dobbs. Definitely. 10-team PPR, 1-3 record. Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, Alexander Masson, Jay Jettis, Olave, Laporta,
yes!
Zay Flowers, Ravens,
a fellow
Matt
Laporta
Gay,
owner. Bro.
Trevor Lawrence, Kittle, Gabe Davis, Roshan Johnson, Tank Dell, Javonte Williams, and Tyjae Spears. Yeah. Go pick up Romeo Dobbs for sure. And drop
Dobbs has been a
Roshan.
beast, bro. Dobbs has been an absolute beast.
He's got Saquon and Masson, and then Javonte Williams and Tyjae Spears. So
You're thin at running back,
You're
but
thin.
Roshan's not like a game changer right now.
yeah, no, I mean
Like
he's not.
he made a great point saying he's not building his case, especially with Herbert having the great game this past week against Denver.
This is the thing though. He has Jay Jettis, Olave, Zay Flowers, and Gabe Davis. Like,
Well, I mean,
just adding
yeah,
Romeo
but
Doubs to that.
his idea is to trade for a running back. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his what he's
Okay.
trying to do.
Yeah,
He's
so-
not looking to keep Dobbs.
Yeah, if you're going for a trade chip, okay, yeah, now I see what
Yeah,
you're saying.
right.
Yeah, Dobbs is the better trade chip.
Absolutely.
Also, dudes just be seeing like I know I usually see people like pick up someone on the waiver wire and try to trade them right away, and
Yeah.
that's like it depends how like much you guys are paying attention to like your league feed and whatnot, but like if you were to pick up Romeo Dobbs and then try to trade him and someone's like, hey, like you just picked him up off the waiver wire, like I'm not gonna do that.
I mean,
You could go ahead and trade like Zay Flowers for a running back.
yeah, man. I mean, I'm looking at. Oh, he has
and
Zay
just keep
Flowers too.
Dobbs. Yeah, you could just keep Dobbs.
Yeah, so Dobbs is wide receiver 16, bro. He's had 3 games of 18 points and a game of 5 against Atlanta, which was a real dud. It's gonna be interesting seeing how he works back in with how Christian Watson works himself back in. But I like Dobbs. To answer your question, I like Dobbs more as a trade piece than I do Roshan. That's the answer at the end of the day. But yeah, man, you should definitely be looking for a running back. I like where your mind is at there. You have a solid team. I wouldn't worry about your 1-3 record. With Lamar, Saquon coming back into the fold, hopefully this week, if not obviously the following week. Madison is in flux right now. Carter and I have touched on that. I don't know if this is your first time watching or what, but welcome. Thanks for asking. We love your interaction. Dobbs has been undeniably amazing. I agree. Thank you both. Laporta to the moon, bro. Yes, I was trying to get everyone on him in preseason. Drafted in both my leagues at like round 15, bro. Glad to meet a fellow. Like, he knows how ecstatic I am right now. Like, glad to meet a fellow Laporta owner, bro. He is a beast.
If you guys go check out our OG shorts from like the very beginning, like scroll all the way down.
Yes.
Sam Laporta is, I think, like the second or third guy there, and he's been raving.
And I was
about
telling
him.
you all about Puka.
Like, yeah, Puka too. Like weeks before the draft.
Laporta, bro. Yes. Good to meet you. But yeah, hope that answered your question. Dobbs is obviously the better trade piece at wide receiver 16 right now. Him and Love have a real connection there. But yeah, man, go get that stud running back. You got a great squad outside of that. Do not worry about your 1-3 start. But yeah, man, go get those guys. I think you got a good bench, a solid bench too, with Gabe Davis and like Tank Dell in there.
Yeah.
Tyler Spears is a great guy to have too. So you got a solid squad. Go do that, man. Take care of business. Laporta to the moon. Anyways, getting back to our Raiders-Chargers game.
Yep.
This is fun, bro. I love interacting with these guys.
Yeah,
Guys, if you're coming to the channel, like subscribe. We might, if you guys like this, we might start doing this a little more. Once or twice a week versus just doing it before the games on Sunday.
Yeah.
Just to get you guys some more interaction. Yes, sir. Thank you. I love this channel already. It's my first time here. I'm going in for sure. Leave a like and sub and hang around for the rest of the stream and more. Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.
That's love, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Bro. That's awesome. Yeah, if you guys like this, I don't know how many of y'all are still watching. Like I said, it might move to this format a little more during the week. So
yeah,
have to see how that works out. But Chargers got the sketchy dub. It was looking good early on. Y'all kind of sputtered out. Did you watch this? I'm assuming.
Of course I watched it. Yeah.
Dumb question.
So for all you guys that are just now watching, I'm a Chargers fan through and through. And the way I'll summarize every single game is we just make it interesting. Like that's how we like to play
Against
football.
the rookie quarterback that y'all sacked 7 times and forced like 2 fumbles.
Yeah, we just like to make it interesting.
And
it doesn't matter.
interception, yeah.
It doesn't matter how dominant we are. How many yards in the second half? Like 60 something.
I don't even know. Yeah. So like Herbert didn't have a great game.
Yeah.
Might have been a little shaken up off of that Tillery hit, that late hit. But yeah, Herbert did not have a great game. Josh Kelly had they're dying to get Eckler back.
We need Eckler.
You
back.
need Eckler.
That's for sure.
That's for sure. That's obvious right now.
Kelly seemed decent in the first half. It was just the second half.
Yeah,
was
y'all
absolutely
sputtered as a
miserable
team.
for us.
So Josh Palmer was actually the leading receiver in this. Keenan Allen came away with a touchdown. Both had 3 receptions. Palmer led the team in targets with 8. Palmer's a guy who we saw last year really, deliver in his role with Mike Williams now going down with the ACL injury. Palmer's a great waiver wire pickup if he's still out there in your league. So for you guys in the 10 and 8 man, he's a guy like our guy that was just saying he was going to trade for quarterback, Josh Allen, T Money Reacts. So yeah, bro, he's a guy like I would drop one of Joe Burrow or T-Law for Josh Palmer.
Yeah.
He's a guy that's going to be serviceable throughout the season, bye weeks, injuries, that sort of thing. Keenan Allen, guys, he's going to be a stud throughout the season. You guys have a bye this week.
Yep.
But Keenan Allen, guys, he's in your lineup undoubtedly. Quentin Johnston, not seeing it right now. Obviously, this just wasn't a good overall game for this Chargers offense. So it'll be interesting moving forward. I think in 12-man or deeper leagues, you're rostering him, obviously. He's probably drafted in your league. So, but yeah, a weird game. Chargers came out on top. So y'all are 2-2 now. So getting back in the mix.
Yeah, I think Quentin Johnston's the guy you sit for a while.
All right.
Okay, bet. I'll definitely get him.
Yeah, appreciate you still tuning in, man. But yeah, Josh Palmer's definitely a guy. If you're dropping one of those quarterbacks, if you'll have 4 quarterbacks on your roster, definitely Josh Palmer's a guy to go get. Would like to. I mean, it's kind of hard to just kind of mention some guys off the top of my head, but it would be interesting to see who else is on his
8-team
waiver in an 8-team. I don't really know who to expect to be out there.
Probably like. He's got Hawkinson, so like. Tight end you don't really need.
Unless Laporta's on. If Laporta's on the waivers, man, pick him up for sure. He's tight end 2 right now. So guys, moving to Dallas. Dallas took care of business. Like, bro, this was almost a rerun of week 1 against the Giants. The Dallas defense just dominated. Mac Jones did not look good. He actually got subbed out for Bailey Zappi late in the game. Ramondre was ineffective. It just was not a good outing at all.
Yeah.
Hunter Henry actually had 4 for 51. So tight end guys.
Dallas is just that team, bro.
Yeah. Dallas big bounce back week obviously. Dak had an 83 QBR, a touchdown, 261 passing. Pollard, funny enough, did not have a big game. Only 11 carries. Deuce Vaughn actually ended up having 8, but it was a blowout, so, don't put too much stock into it. It just is what it. Pollard's an elite guy. He's, RB5 on the season right now, I believe it is. RB7 on the season right now. So, Pollard's an elite guy. Probably drafted him late first, early second. Don't worry about him at all. I do want to highlight Jake Ferguson. He's a guy that's been getting it done week in and week out now. He's getting targets in that Dallas offense, something we highlighted coming into the season, and obviously after we kind of saw Ferguson get some good targets against the Giants week 1. Mm-hmm. Dallas uses their tight end guys. If another guy for you, if you're looking for a backup tight end or something, if Jake Ferguson's still on your waiver wires, he is a guy to go get. 7 receptions, 77 yards, paced the team in both of those stats and targets. So good things from him. Michael Gallup has put together 2 back-to-back weeks of solid stats. So he's a guy you might want to look at. I'm not super high on him, but he's obviously been serviceable the last 2 weeks. CD got the touchdown. He had a great week. 2 weeks. Week 2, in an insane game. Mm-hmm. Was doing it at all facets, all phases. He's great. Just hasn't had to see the volume, I guess, so far. And a weird game against Arizona. Yeah.
We got a couple more questions I want to get to real quick.
Yeah.
Nobody in my league is taking the T-Law bait. Not even a guy with Geno Smith and Danny Dimes.
Danny Crimes.
Danny Crimes.
Danny Crimes, that's funny.
And the other guy with Burrow.
Yeah. So go back to his team. So he was worrying about Dobbs and Roschon, right? He's T-Law on his bench. I mean, bro, maybe if you can move like Kittle, a big name at tight end, hasn't really produced so far. And obviously you have our guy Laporta. If you can move Kittle with one of your guys and go get, Kittle, Dobbs, and let's say Madison or something for an upgrade at running back. I don't know if you could pull something like that off. Or if you're trying to still keep Madison in the fold as your, RB3 and upgrade at that RB, to get an obvious RB2 like you were saying. You can work something in there. Like, you definitely have the potential.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is not going to be
good. Right now his stock is just low. Going against the Bills this week could be, a big volume game for him. So, what team
said I just sold Puka and Laporta for Chase.
I
like it.
Danny Crimes is funny. That is really funny.
Yeah.
It's true too, but also that offensive line is just pitiful. You and I could go block for Danny Dimes better than that.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a solid move. Puka and Laporta, since you have Hawkinson, who's obviously tight end 1 for Chase, who's a top 5 receiver. Obviously not in terms of fantasy right now, but just overall. What our other guys say?
Negotiating with the Cub guy, he said he would think about it. Started off with Kamara and Godwin.
Okay, got you. Yet to answer. What Chandler say? He's back in here. Start Fields or Stroud this week. 6 points patch. So like our league. Start Fields or Stroud. So Fields I know goes against my Redskins. Stroud goes against the Falcons. Off the top of my head, bro.
Stroud against Falcons.
Fields against my guys. Washington.
Okay.
I don't mind either of those. Obviously, this is hard. That's a hard decision off the top of my head because, Fields obviously to me has the higher ceiling. Mm-hmm. Washington has not been good against the pass.
I I think, dude, the way
CJ's got the hot hand right now.
yeah,
though.
the way that the Texans are playing right now, I mean, it's hard to sit Fields against Washington, especially after
Right.
last year,
Right.
like how good he played or like how many rushing yards he had,
Yeah.
essentially.
He's not doing that rushing right now though,
Yeah, he's not.
which is weird, man.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm rolling CJ Stroud.
yeah, I don't mind either. I do lean towards the hot hand of CJ Stroud. We highlighted him. Shout out T Money, the sub man. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I lean CJ Stroud right now, my man. I like him. I think what he's doing right now is really encouraging. Carter and I highlighted that. He has a really good squad around him. Laramie Tunsil, the left tackle, is coming back this week, I believe. Should just elevate him that much more. So I do lean CJ Stroud a bit more right now. I don't think you can go wrong with either of those guys.
Yeah.
Should I try make a package? Obviously, you can go for it. I do think Stroud and Fields are two solid options on a week-to-week basis, choosing between those two. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you need to sacrifice any of your team for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to go get a quarterback, unless you can truly upgrade to one of those obvious, top five off the top of my head, thinking Lamar, Josh Allen, Mahomes. Who else?
Herbert.
Yeah, Herbert. Any of those type of guys. Jalen Hurts. Yeah, so Chandler, I think you're straight right now, man. Fields and Stroud those are two good options to have on a week-to-week basis, assuming they'll have, different matchup-based decision, sort of that. So I like that. So Side-Eye Muppet said that's a nice package. I'm going to use that. Kittle, Madison, Dobbs bet. Yeah, man. That's some loaded stuff right there if you can get one of your guys. What is Mariano saying? He's new in here.
Should I give up Thielen for Brees Hall?
Whew, yes. Okay, I don't want to get too ahead of myself on that. Obviously, Brees Hall is more talented. Brees Hall is going to be a beast this week. Side-Eye is on the same type of wave we are right now. Brees Hall is my smash play at running back of the week going against that Denver offense. We saw Khalil Herbert have a monster week.
Yeah. Obviously, HN and
yeah,
Mostert
HN and Mostert had a great week the week before.
Mhm.
Brian Robinson the week before that for Washington. Josh Jacobs didn't do that great week 1 against Denver off the top of my head. But yeah, man, I would, depending if you have receivers, I'm assuming you got Thielen later in the draft and you have guys over top of him. If you can get Brees Hall for him, man, that's a great play right there. And as Side-Eye Muppet said, ton of upside this week.
Yeah.
I think this is where we see a real bounce back from Brees Hall. I think he finally gets like a 20-touch game, 100+ yards and a touchdown. That's what I'm looking for, expecting from him. So, yeah, I like Brees Hall this week, and I like him moving forward more than I like Thielen,
Yeah.
assuming you do have receivers over top of him. So, Mariano, I hope that answered your question there. Certainly this week and season long, I like Brees Hall a little more.
I do too. Thielen's at an all-time high right now.
Yes, that's I would like to highlight that. So moving on to our next game, guys. Who do we got? Oh, come on. That was in week 4. Where are we at? 49ers Cardinals. So the Cards put up a fight in the first half. It was 21-16 going into halftime.
Mhm.
Shout out to Josh Dobbs, man. I got to give it up for him. 48 rushing yards, 265 passing yards, and 2 touchdowns for an 80 QBR. He's doing it.
Yeah.
If you're in deeper leagues, I think he's, if you're in a 14 or 16, he's on a roster, no doubt about it, in my mind.
No interceptions this year.
Yeah. Him and Stroud, no interceptions. Shout
Yeah.
out to them.
Mm-hmm.
James Conner had a bit of a down week, only 52 yards rushing. Obviously had to abandon the run a little bit due to a negative game script. Saw your guy, Hollywood Brown, putting in work.
Yeah.
Led the team, tied the team with Zach Ertz, 10 targets. 7 receptions, 96 yards. So Hollywood Brown's been getting it done. Wide receiver 17, I believe it is, off the top of my head. Right behind Dobbs, because we were just looking at him. Yes. So
Yeah, 15+ points against both in PPR against both Dallas and San Francisco
Yeah.
back to back.
two great defenses.
Yeah, he's a great player.
So I think we have to stop writing off this Cardinals offense,
Mhm.
in terms of Marquise, Zach Ertz, James Conner, and Josh Dobbs. These guys are really putting it up. Guys, in case the cutback rejection, should I go? Oh, yes.
Yep.
Now, I will say he has Godwin and Amari on bye this week. Keenan Allen is also on bye this week. So if you're not trading one of those two guys for Keenan, I would hold off this week in that. But if you can trade, Amari and someone for Keenan or Godwin and someone for Keenan, absolutely, bro. Keenan is one of those top guys this year. Absolutely try and go get your hands on some Keenan Allen. I love that. I know you do too, being a Chargers fan.
I do like Allen. I do wonder why the Cup guy is rejecting, because wasn't he the guy that sent the trade at first?
Yeah, I don't know. With him rejecting it though, it might be like, okay, why are you doing this now? You know how people get.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, bro. Keenan Allen is a great pickup if you can do that. Just be aware of the buys this week. If you're trading away, McLaurin and someone, you don't have any receivers to play. But yeah, Keenan Allen is one of those studs that we were talking about, so I like that. We didn't even mention him, but he's certainly one of those studs now. He isn't answering. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what time zone you're in, man. We're on the East Coast right now, so it's 12 o'clock. Staying up late for you guys. He said he would think about it. So when you say he said he would think about it, are you talking about the Cup guy or Keenan guy? I assume you haven't proposed the Keenan Allen trade yet.
He's probably talking about
Cup. So, yeah, he's probably gonna have to think about that. But yeah, man, I would go after Keenan if the Cup guy isn't getting down with you. I like that Keenan move for sure.
I'd go after like Tyreek Hill or J. Jeff before Keenan.
10 p.m. So what? He's in like Mountain Cup guys. So yeah, he's in like the West Rocky Mountain type time.
Yeah, we were
bro.
saying top 10 locked. I think Keenan Allen still is. I think he can get better than Keenan Allen, to be honest. I mean,
I just think Keenan's consistency
he's
is
ridiculously
insane.
good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say that Keenan Allen would be a bad trade target at
Right.
all.
Yeah. I just wouldn't give up as much as you're saying for, like, I would not give up. Well, Kamara and Godwin. Would you give up Kamara and Godwin for Keenan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
I
yeah.
would easily do that.
Yeah. So yeah, bro.
Especially
like,
with JT,
Keenan's one of those,
Saquon.
Right. Keenan's one of those guys that has no like questions around him.
Right.
He's a lead guy. He's consistent. We've seen him. We know what he gives you on a week-to-week basis. So yeah, bro. I think that's a great move. I wouldn't worry too much about you guys not responding right now. It's a little late, and we have the rest of the week going in, and you're not really pivoting on anyone in this Thursday night game with Chicago and Washington.
Yeah.
So I would just work that throughout the week, man. Keenan Allen, I think that's a great buy. I think season long he's one of the top 7 receivers in that range, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I do want to highlight Michael Wilson. He's probably one of the top waiver wire pickups at receiver, if not the best this week. 7 receptions, 76 yards, and 2 touchdowns. A guy I slightly touched on, I think it was like a week before this season, said he would be that intermediate guy.
Yes.
Yes, Kamara and Godwin, I like that. Maybe start off with yeah. I would say maybe start off with Hall and Godwin, just because I think Kamara is going to be a bigger asset than like what he is right now, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not like that's fine. Personally, I think that's
Kamara
fine.
and Godwin, Hall and Godwin, either of those are fine.
Yeah.
Or Jacoby. I mean,
Right.
either way.
Yeah,
all those are good, bro.
I will highlight Michael Wilson as a top waiver wire pickup, guys. Zach Ertz getting it done. If he is okay, hold on. I think I looked where Zach Ertz is available in a bunch of leagues. He's rostered in 38% of NFL leagues. Guys, go pick up Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
Please. Do yourself a favor.
Zach Ertz should be rostered in every single league.
Zach Ertz should be rostered in your league, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Carter touched on that plenty of times.
Preseason,
Just repeating ourselves
guy.
at this point. San Fran, Brock Purdy got it done. 97 QBR, only 1 incompletion to McCaffrey in the flats, 283 yards, a touchdown. McCaffrey for as many touchdowns as he scored. That's how many times I'm saying it.
Yep.
106 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, 7 receptions, 71 yards, and a receiving touchdown, bro. Best running back in football right now. Undoubtedly. Best player in football, probably. I don't even know that we have to touch on him that much more.
So
What's he saying?
he said he might start with Kamara
Yeah.
and Jacoby, then if he rejected Hall and Godwin. See, okay, if you get rejected I wouldn't go ahead and look to make 3 offers. So I'd start off with something a little bit stronger than Kamara and Jacoby.
I would too.
I would start off with Hall and Godwin.
Yes.
And then
shift to Kamara and Godwin.
Shift to Kamara and Godwin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Because the likelihood that he accepts Kamara and Jacoby is very low.
Right. So yeah, start off with two guys that are like have good brand name to them,
Mm-hmm.
in Hall and Godwin, and then work from there. Because yeah, I think that's where you should start with. That's what I would start with. And as Carter said, he's the one that suggested that. So, but Ayuk guys led. Ayuk was insane this week. It was like, usually he has like a 10-yard reception, 15, something like that, but he was getting chunk plays like 20, 30, obviously long of 42, but 6 receptions, 148 yards. Guys, Debo was coming into the week, knee, ribs, also designated injury so far this week in terms of practice. Going to be interesting moving forward, but he did not see any targets. He was obviously nursing an injury, so not an overreaction. Don't go selling him. Don't get down on Debo. I love him this year. He's already put up major production for what he did last year, so I'll leave that at that. But Brandon Ayuk had a monster week. He's a lineup lock for me. I have him in both my leagues right now. He's just been great.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk's a great player.
He's legit.
Yeah, great steal.
So moving to the big green apple, as Carter likes to say, gave the defending world champs a run for their money.
That game was so interesting.
I mean, Zach Wilson, we saw life.
Okay, I want to know what you guys think too. Like I don't know, bro. Whenever Chris Collinsworth is commentating the game and he's talking about like Mahomes or Josh Allen, every time they get the ball, he's like, "Yeah, the other team's going good, but I don't know." He's got the
He's drunk.
Bro, I swear, he's
drunk.
always on something, bro. I'm like, hop off their meat, like
Facts.
high key, but yeah, great game.
Yeah, I mean, Zach Wilson played solid, man. 245 yards, only 11 incompletions on 39 attempts, 2 touchdowns, 66 QBR. So Zach Wilson saw some life. Hopefully he can carry that. I'd like to see him be able to do that. Breece Hall only 6 carries. I don't get it because he had 6 for 56. He did have the long for 43, so wasn't efficient on those other 5 carries. Only 13 yards, obviously. Dalvin Cook 5 for 16. Dalvin Cook to me is cooked. Like, not to be corny or anything, but I'm just not interested in him at all right now. He was one of the worst fantasy picks to me. That people are drafting like the 6th, 7th, 8th round. Like, nah, bro. There's way more value out there. Like, I mean, I guess 8th round is kind of understandable, but anything prior to that was just like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
So
something to note too about this game, dude. Zach Wilson had like a couple really impressive drives. Like
he did.
He showed that he can do it, and this Chiefs defense is not like
they're no slouch, bro.
Yeah, they're no slobs at all.
So I was reading the ESPN article where it was like the power rankings, and then it added a blurb of like each team's defensive weakness. Kansas City's was like that they need to stop the run better, and they were like 11th best in the league against the run. So like if you're the 11th best in something and that's your weakness, like you're a damn good defense.
They're good.
You know?
Yeah, they're
so
really
yeah,
good.
man. I mean that's definitely a positive. It's not like he was just going against some slouch D. But Garrett Wilson, man, 14 targets, 9 receptions, 60 yards. So great to see that out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you want to see a little higher efficiency, but hey, man, if you're getting 15 points out of Garrett Wilson, was Zach Wilson throwing to him?
Yeah,
love to see that. That is great. Alan Lazard obviously had a big day. Want to highlight him a little bit. I'm not like Alan Lazard's on my radar. Like I'm not saying like go get him or anything.
Nope.
So that sums up things for the Jets. Mahomes with a very uncharacteristic game. 2 interceptions, a touchdown, 200 yards. Pacheco put together 2 fine weeks now.
Yep.
115 yards, a touchdown, 3 receptions for 43 yards. I mean, we always say we love watching this guy run. Love watching this guy run the ball.
Uh-huh.
Pacheco was great. He's a lineup lock for me now. He's really solidified, almost kind of like what James Cook has done early in the season also.
Yeah.
Those are 2 guys we were looking to take that step. They have done it, guys. So very happy for them. Travis Kelce led the team in targets, yardage, and receptions. Didn't get the touchdown, but still had 12 points at the tight end position. That's what you love to see. No other. Sky Moore, dude. 2 targets, 0-0. So the receivers really are not stepping up. This Chiefs offense isn't exactly doing like what we really expected. If that makes sense, like they're just not. like super high powered, I guess, as we always expect. Yeah, Alan Lazard mid. Yeah, bro.
Definition of mid.
Yeah, he's just not good at separating when you look at the advanced stats. He's just a big body wide receiver that can make a good, deep ball, jump ball type of play. Got to give him credit where credit's due. But yeah, he's just not on my fantasy radar at all. But yeah, guys, so none of those receivers are really worth rostering they're worth rostering, I guess, like Sky Moore. I do like Rashee Rice. He saw 5 targets, which was good for I feel like he's a guy that's going to gain trust throughout the season, and by the end of the season is going to be that lead receiver in the offense. I touched on him a lot in the preseason. He's one of those rookies I really liked. I just think he's kind of like the best prototypical receiver, if that makes sense, for that team. Like Sky Moore just seems more like a gadget guy, as well as Kadarius Toney's a bit of a mystery to me.
Preseason, Mahomes was telling like management, "Hey guys, I want Rashee Rice."
Yeah,
like, that was the guy Mahomes.
They were working out and prior to the draft,
right?
So yeah, man, like prior to the actual NFL draft, they were working out together.
Is Pacheco a top 30 running back or high-end RB2 or flex play? I think he's certainly top 30.
So I would just say RB2. That's how I would peg him. Not high-end, not low-end. He's just an RB2 right now.
Yeah.
He's certainly a top 30.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming he's playing PPR. I forget which league was he the 8-man?
Let's see.
10 team PPR. So yeah, bro, Pacheco is certainly a top 30, undoubtedly. I just label him as a RB2. I don't want to say low end or high end. Get into that too. I think he's better than a flex, especially at being at the running back position.
He's an RB2. Yep, I like that. What's up, my dudes? Watching your stream here from Tilted Towers.
From Tilted Towers?
Yeah.
What's up, Scrappy plays Fortnite?
Dude, RFE Tilted.
Oh yeah, you said they got rid of that.
Yeah, they got.
Bro, you should link up with him on Fort.
Yeah,
that'd be lit.
Play. I'm nice.
Yeah, what's up, Scrappy, bro? Welcome to the pod, man.
Yeah,
it's one of the first times we've done a live like this. But all right, I'll move on from this KC Jets game. Wrap up with the dominant performance from Seattle going into the Big Blue Apple. Guys, 11 sacks for Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones was getting absolutely destroyed through 2 picks. I don't want to put it all on Daniel Jones, but he just didn't have any time. It was kind of insane. Nothing really good from this offense this week. I don't even want to put stock into anything that happened just because of how pitiful the offensive line as a whole was. It was just really not a good game. I do want to highlight Wan'Dale Robinson, actually. 6 targets, 5 receptions, 40 yards. The guy we highlighted last week, I believe it was.
Yep.
He's a guy that I think is going to be a shining light out of this offense if there is anyone, especially once Saquon comes back, opens up that offense a little more. The Giants have the hardest schedule remaining, in my opinion. It is absolutely brutal. It's just not looking good. If they can get their star Andrew Thomas left tackle back this week, hopefully, they'll need him. Give Daniel Jones 0.5 seconds, have a second more.
Yeah.
Get things going, but yeah, it's just not looking good in New York right now. Saquon's about the only guy I think is rosterable, and Darren Waller, you have to.
Dude, I'm so disappointed about Darren. I'm so disappointed. He doesn't have time to develop any routes. Like Darren Waller's not exactly like a blanket tight end. Like we've seen him throughout his career be more of like a downfield tight end. Like,
he's a receiver tight end.
Yeah, and it's just not favorable for him right now. So I'm probably gonna start starting Jake Ferguson over him. Right. Hey guys, would you trade Montgomery, Christian Watson, and Christian Kirk for Mostert, Gibbs, and CeeDee Lamb? So
there's a possibility I'll put in Pierce or Moss as well as posting my team soon. Yeah, man. Let us know the rest of your team and format, how many teams are in your league. But on send us that for sure, bro.
Send us all the deets. And
off of the face of that, I would probably keep your guys. So I'm a Gibbs owner personally. I drafted him in the 2nd round. Was really high on him. Montgomery's the guy right now.
Mm-hmm.
I love Christian Kirk, and we're not big Watson guys. So that's a pretty even trade.
I traded Puka and Ford for Keenan. I have Herbert at QB. Was this a good trade? Dude, that was an amazing trade.
Puka's great, but Keenan is there's levels to it.
You just absolutely murdered that trade.
Yeah. So 2 guys have made great trades with Ford that we've talked to.
Yeah.
Great work, guys. Great work. Yeah, I mean, Puka's great so far. Obviously, probably wide receiver 2 on the season, maybe. But yeah, I mean, Keenan with that stack with Herbert, dude, nothing wrong with. I'm loving that. You know, and Ford I think is going to be down a little bit throughout the rest of the season.
Puka, wide receiver.
Puka's wide receiver 4 right now. Yeah, so he's second in yardage and number 1 in receptions. But yeah, no, that's a good trade. That's the type of stuff I love to see. Obviously, season long, Keenan's a little better than Puka. He's wide receiver 1 right now, and you have that stack with Herbert. So that's a great trade right there. Have any of our other guys commented?
Dude, that's sick that you have Herbert too.
Yeah, no, that's on my other league. Who should I start between Pollard, Swift, most? So okay, Jesus, are you looking for 2 guys out of this or 3? Yeah. Or just one, you know. Obviously, like Carter said, Pollard's a lock. I want to say Swift's a lock.
Swift's a lock.
So Pollard and Swift, if you're looking for 2, if they're saying Taylor's playing, he's in your lineup, in my opinion.
Yeah, you could flex Taylor.
He does go against a tough Titans defense this week, though.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
So
Andy's gonna be working. Like, remember when Taylor came back last year and he kind of had a slow start?
Yes.
Those first 2 weeks. So,
I mean, Pollard and Swift. Those 2 obvious. But let us know if you're looking for 2 or 3 players on that list. But getting to Seattle, guys, wrapping things up here. Geno got out with that slight knee injury in the first half. Came back, finished things up. They didn't need to be a real electric offense this game, obviously, because the Giants weren't an electric offense whatsoever. So Geno had a real modest game. Kenneth Walker saved his day with that 31-yard scamper to really seal the game, to allow them to run out the clock there. Had the touchdown. Kenneth Walker, guys, is he's having a great season. A guy I had a lot of questions with coming in. He's the running back 5 right now. A guy I had a lot of questions with coming into the season. He has eliminated all my questions. Tripled Charbonnet in carries this week. Did not see any receiving work for the first time this season. Charbonnet only had 1 reception on his 3 targets, though, so nothing big there. Kenneth Walker's the alpha in that backfield. Having a great season, as I said, guys.
Okay, so he says he's looking to start 3 of these running backs. His other options are Sutton and Michael Thomas. Okay,
so I have Sutton in my league also, bro. So who do the Broncos play this week? Broncos play the Jets.
Yeah.
I do have Zach Moss. Okay, well, yeah. Obviously, you're playing Taylor over Zach Moss. So that eliminates that. So Michael Thomas, the Saints play the Patriots. Christian Gonzalez is hurt right now, too. So that's their cornerback 1 who's out. Obviously, he would be on Olave. So obviously, bro, you're starting Jesus, you're starting Pollard, you're starting Swift. That's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
So your flex. So assuming this is your flex spot, I'd probably rank them Sutton, Taylor, Michael Thomas. Or maybe Taylor 1, bro. I don't know.
Yeah. If Taylor doesn't play, Zach Moss, you definitely play over Sutton. If Taylor does play, I think obviously you then sit Zach Moss. And if you want to wait on Taylor, I got no problem with that and go ahead and play Sutton. But if you're looking for, upside, I think Taylor's your guy.
So I do want to throw this in here to further answer your question, Jesus. If Derek Carr is practicing in full this week, I'm a little more leaning cool with Michael Thomas because I think his AC sprain in his shoulder really eliminated his ability to what he was going to do. Talking about Derek Carr, so I think Michael Thomas is a lot more effective with a fully healthy Derek Carr. So I think between Taylor, Sutton, and Thomas, I don't think you can really go wrong with either 3 of them. I do lean towards one of the receivers a little more just because Taylor comes back his first game against a tough Titans defense in a divisional game. We could be totally wrong about that, and he just bust open a 70-yard touchdown. Wouldn't put it past Jonathan Taylor, who's a top 5 running back in the league. But Sutton does have a tough matchup, and seeing a lot of Sauce Gardner or DJ Reed, whichever one.
Yeah.
But I think you have a good bench. Herbert has bye week. Do y'all think Richardson is a good player?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We love us some Anthony Richardson. Thank you guys. Glad I ran into this channel. Yeah, Jesus. Thanks for interacting with us, man.
Yeah, bro.
Would love to have you back on. Might be doing this a little more. So
Ray Gamer says, okay. So
yeah. So what'd Ray say?
Jalen Hurts, Olave, Metcalf, Barkley, Mostert, Hawkinson, Lamb, Jake Moody. Bench would be Gibbs, Moss, Pierce, Romeo Dobbs, Myers, Stroud, and Ravens defense.
So he said, I really need more RBs on my team. So his RBs are
Mostert.
Barkley. Oh yeah, Barkley, Mostert, and Gibbs. Need more RBs, but I want to have a flex option for sure. Lamb would be amazing. My only concern would be my RB2. Yeah. Oh, he's talking about. Oh, he has Pierce. Oh yeah, he has Damian Pierce too. So yeah, man. I mean, you have Olave, Metcalf, and CD at receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So your receivers are covered because there's more Montgomery and Barkley isn't enough to me. Yeah, Barkley's obviously shaky right now, so you're probably in a shaky because I'm a Gibbs owner too, bro. Gibbs has not been kind to me. I drafted him in the second round. I think I already said this to you. Pierce, I think, is solid, especially with that Texans offense opening up. Hopefully, he's getting the carries, he's getting the touches, the volume that we like to see. Gibbs hopefully can break it open a little bit.
Gibbs
So what's he saying?
He said my other trade would be Barkley, Christian Watson, Christian Kirk, and Montgomery for Eckler, Waddle, Sanders, and either Thielen or Cooper. If you could get Eckler, Waddle, Sanders, and Cooper, I mean that's strong.
I would definitely
especially for
do
Barkley,
that.
Watson, and Kirk. Because then you got
Eckler as your surefire RB1. Like yeah.
Eckler's definitely an upgrade from Barkley rest of the season.
Right.
Waddle is going to be a guy that you can easily play behind Lamb
he's
and
not
Olave.
he's not even giving up.
And
He'd still have Olave, Metcalf, and Lamb. Yeah. I mean, bro, if I were you, honestly, I would just try to look to move, like, Kirk and Barkley or something for an upgrade at running. Like, if you could just do Kirk and Barkley for Eckler.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I would try to do. Versus just trying to, like, shuffle so many players.
And then just go ahead and start Gibbs at your RB2.
Yeah, something like that.
Or even Damian Pierce.
Yeah, he does have Damian Pierce too. So, yeah, bro, that's what I would try to do is trade, like, Saquon and Kirk or Saquon and Watson for another high-end RB1. That's what I would like if I was in your situation. I don't know. When I see trades like that, like, my head just kind of, like, explodes.
Yeah. Okay, so Barkley, Watson, and Kirk. He doesn't really need Watson or Kirk.
Right, because he has 3 stud receivers.
Yeah. So, I mean, that essentially you're just kind of giving up Montgomery.
Like, I wouldn't be looking for like, because getting Waddle, that's going to be a headache trying to figure out who to play still. Because you still have...
Well, he is David Montgomery. Dude, I love David Montgomery.
Oh, yeah, he does. He's saying hypothetically if he had Gibbs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he does have Montgomery.
Dude, yeah, you definitely want Montgomery.
I'd probably hold on to I mean, I'm a Gibbs owner. I would probably hold on to Monty for now, but I would try. Like I said, my final verdict would be trying to package Barkley in one of those Watson or Kirk with Barkley and trying to get a stud RB1. Yeah. That's what I would try to do for your team right now.
Right, and then keep Montgomery and play him at RB2.
Yeah. And because you still have Pierce, and then you would still have those 3 studs at receiver in Olave, Metcalf, and Lamb.
And Jalen Hurts, man, that's a good ass.
Yeah, that's what I would try to do, bro.
Yeah.
What side I say?
I can get Kenneth Walker and Kyle Pitts for Kittle, Madison, and Gabe Davis, but I won't do the deal until Saturday because Walker on a bye, and I won't have a better RB2 than Madison this weekend. I'm holding Monty for ransom.
Yeah, he's saying if you had him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree with Side-Eye. Side-Eye and I are seen together a lot. So I can get so Carter is very against Kyle Pitts. I'm in the same boat as him. So yeah, so he would be giving up Kittle, Madison, and Gabe Davis. Oh yeah, okay. Kittle, Madison, Gabe. I mean, because isn't his tight end 1 Hawkinson go up to Side-Eye when he gave us his team?
Yeah, this was the recommendation we gave him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro. Certainly getting Kenneth Walker would be a a massive upgrade.
Mhm.
And yeah, no. So go back to his Lamar, Saquon. So it'd be Saquon and Walker,
Jay Jettis,
Olave, Laporta still,
Gabe Davis.
Laporta,
Give up Gabe.
Zay Flowers. Yeah, bro.
I like it.
100% do that.
Mhm.
If you if you have to wait on, you're obviously gonna have to wait on the bye week for him. Totally cool with that. Kyle Pitts would be a stash, yeah. I mean, obviously Laporta's the guy, as you know. But yeah, man, no, I like that trade. That I would go for that. Kenneth Walker, like we said, is RB5 right now. Much better than Madison, especially season long. No doubt about that. And
Yeah.
Gabe Davis is a guy that you don't really need. Kittle's not a guy you really need, so I like that move for you.
Yeah, I tried to get rid of Madison no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you can get something for Madison right now, bro, absolutely. So what Jesus say?
10-team PPR QB, Herbert and Richardson, running back, Pollard, Swift, Moss, Taylor, Mostert, wide receivers, Jay Jettis, Godwin, Thomas, and Sutton, tight end Andrews. Anything I should work on?
I like his. So he is Moss and yeah, I like his team, dude. I mean maybe a third wide receiver.
Yeah.
But I mean Sutton like is a guy that I have and I know you like also, and he's seeing a lot of good work right now in terms of he's either getting volume or those red zone touches. So I mean, bro, you have Pollard, Swift, Jonathan Taylor, and then Herbert and Richardson at quarterback.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, maybe try to
I
go
would try to
get
get
a
another
wide
wide
receiver.
receiver.
Like, I would trade I'd probably try to trade. I mean, I don't know, though. With Evans out, Godwin's going to step up.
I would wait this week. Richardson's probably gonna have another great week. He has the most points per game by any player right now.
Right, because he missed last week.
Herbert will then be back. Herbert's got a broken finger, so I'm so
On his
confident he'll be
non-throwing
fine.
hand, though.
Yeah.
So,
I would go ahead and try to trade one of your quarterbacks and one of your running backs for a wide receiver, or
I'd trade. So, not to cut you off, I would do one of your quarterbacks in Godwin to upgrade at your wide receiver, too. That's what I would do personally. Because I think Godwin's really enticing right now coming off his season-high game and with Mike Evans being out.
yeah.
So I would probably try to trade. I know Godwin's on a bye this week, but I would try to trade Godwin and let's say Richardson, just hypothetically speaking, for like. Let me take a look. Who's a guy that I would try to
like
get?
Amon Ra.
Yeah. Heck yeah, dude. Yeah. So yeah, Godwin and Richardson for someone like Amon Ra or I don't know, like AJ Brown, CD. Something like that. A guy that right now is a low end wide receiver 1, high end wide receiver 2. I really like that for your team. I think that'd be great for you.
Yeah, if you're looking to upgrade, certainly
Yeah.
get rid of one of those quarterbacks.
So what did Ray say? My
Pair
actual
'em up with
team.
Godwin.
So Ray said my actual team is
CD.
Hurts and Stroud, Olave, Metcalf, Christian Watson, Dobbs, Myers. He has a plethora of receivers, bro. Barkley, Montgomery, Pierce, Moss, Hawkinson. The other roster I posted what my team would look like if I did those trades and got them. For the Lamb, Mostert, and Gibbs trade, that's what my roster would look like for that
Okay.
trade. Got you.
I wish I could get Keenan in that league. Yep.
Yeah, no problem, Jesus, man. Hope you stay with us. Love answering the questions with you, man.
Yeah, no
appreciate you, giving out your information, that type of stuff. But yeah, man. Jesus, to wrap up for you, bro, I would say definitely try to trade Godwin and one of your quarterbacks to go upgrade at receiver. Former Chubb, bro.
Tell him. You can go ahead and tell him.
I had the number 2 pick in my draft, and you best believe I had the nuts to draft Nick Chubb at number 2 overall, bro. And he put up 20 week 1, 16. He had, 16 week 2. So week 3 he got injured, bro. And the man already had like 60 yards starting in the second, 14:52 left in the second quarter on the goal line.
I thought he got injured week 2. Because we've had 2 weeks of Jerome Ford. So he got injured week 2.
Yeah, I think I was like hypothetically thinking in my mind that he would have had 16 points in the second quarter already.
Yeah.
I mean, look at me fan up, bro.
R.I.P. Nick Chubb, man.
Ray, my heart goes out to you, man. I had him 7th pick and got him and got Barkley at 14. bro, that is so unlucky. One of my other friends had that same sort of running back. Oh, Dobbins. Ah, bro. Yeah,
R.I.P.
guys.
Dobbins.
I had Chubb with the second pick. Thankfully, I went RB nuts and drafted Jahmyr Gibbs second round, Najee third round, and Kamara in the 7th round. So kind of got myself some insurance there. Obviously, Najee hasn't been as good as we thought, but yeah, loved Chubb this season. Was putting up some numbers, bro. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, injuries are cursed this year. Yeah, bro. But I mean, you have some scroll up a little. So yeah, I mean, you have Barkley, Montgomery, and Pierce still at running back.
Yeah, if you have Montgomery, dude, I would not go try to trade for Gibbs.
Yeah, I would. I mean, yeah, like I just said, I'm a Gibbs owner too. It's just really confusing as a Gibbs owner right now. But yeah, Montgomery, man, Barkley, and Pierce. I'd maybe try to trade like Pierce, and I think you need to try and move one of your receivers, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
Whether that's I would try to trade like Pierce and Metcalf for someone. Like Pierce and Metcalf for a running back, and then you have Olave, Watson, or Dobbs, and Christian Kirk at receiver. And then, Montgomery, Saquon, and another stud running back. Or, I would package Metcalf and Pierce and try to get a stud receiver or a stud running back. Something like that, just to give you some ideas.
I like that too. Plus, Metcalf had a really bad game, but saved it with a touchdown.
Yes, yeah, I was gonna say saved it with a touchdown. He had only 4 targets, but it wasn't a huge offensive game for them because it didn't need to be.
Yeah.
So he had 3 receptions for 34 yards and a touchdown. But yeah, I mean, Metcalf's had a solid year. So YouTube, great Fortnite cookie. What's up, bro?
Okay, did we finish? Yeah. So Metcalf and Pierce.
Yeah.
Okay. What is Puka worth? Who should I
trade him for?
This
So are you saying so?
Okay. Wait. Yeah. Okay.
So YouTube, great Fortnite cookie, bro. Are you talking? Let us know if you have Puka or if you're trying to go trade for him. Because who should I trade him for? So I'm assuming he has him.
Yeah. No, he is.
So I'm a Puka owner also. I don't know what the rest of your receivers look like. I have Ayuk. I drafted Drake London in the 5th round. Obviously, dumb pick. Drafted Ayuk, Puka, London, and Nico Collins. So I really like having Puka in my lineup. I know a lot of people are probably trying to sell high on him due to Kupp coming back, obviously. So that's probably where your mind is at. Yeah, so I have Puka. So yeah, Puka owner here too. I'm personally not looking to trade him. I think he's going to be very viable moving forward. I also think Kupp has a obviously this is speculation. I think Kupp has a medium to high re-injury risk. He's 30 years old. A lot of people don't realize that. I mean, I like keeping Puka, but I think he's worth. Like, I think he's a high-end wide receiver too moving forward. Like, that's kind of where I value. I think he's a solid wide receiver too. Like, I think that's what I value him as. So I don't know if that kind of gives you an idea of what you can trade him for or how I would value him, but that's how I look at him right now.
Yeah. As you said, it depends on your wide receivers.
Yeah.
And
so what's Ray saying? Just to finish up, Sunday alone talking about all the players and games that probably saw about 40. Oh, yeah, injuries are bad. Yeah, so just to finish up on Metcalf with him, just needed 4 more points from Metcalf the whole second half.
Once that pick 6 happened, but
right,
I lost by 4 and 5 points the last 2 weeks.
We're from 2-0 to 2-2, man.
So
hey, at least you gave yourself a little buffer with the 2-0.
Yeah,
no, that's hard, man. But your team's in good position. Like I would say, package Metcalf and one of your running backs. But Fortnite cookie, bro. So Puka, yeah. I mean, do you want to continue what you were saying?
Yeah. So the way I see it is, as long as Cooper Kupp's healthy, he's gonna be Matthew Stafford's number 1
He's the
guy.
Alpha. Yeah.
As you said, there's a chance of re-injury.
Just to give you some context, like he's a Kupp owner. I'm a Puka owner. So just to give you a little idea of where we're coming from.
Yeah. Puka, he's not going to be irrelevant. There's certainly no way. I mean, he's proven that he can
Right.
be, a great wide receiver. Obviously, if he was a terrible wide receiver, Matthew Stafford would not throw him the ball as much as he has. I think Cooper Kupp's proven, he's, an MVP. So, how much Puka's ceiling is going to go down. Where his floor stays at is going to be a question mark.
Right.
So, for that reason, I would keep Puka if
wow.
you don't have a lot of depth.
For that reason.
I'm out. No, but I would keep Puka if you need floor because I think he's still going to get, 6-7 targets a game.
I think he's good for double digits. Like I don't see him finishing like he'll obviously have some weeks now where he finishes single digits, but like playing PPR, I don't think there's any way like he has a double digit floor in my mind.
If you're trying to trade him away, like if you just don't want any part of it, which
Right.
I completely understand. I mean, who do you think? Like,
Let's see. In terms of equivalent at wide receiver, maybe someone like Brandon Ayuk, DJ Moore, maybe Bilo and Debo. I don't know how you feel about him. I'm an Ayuk owner, so Ayuk's been great.
I would
for
go
me.
for Ayuk over Puka. I would take that.
Yeah, I think Ayuk would be fair, a 1-for-1, but I feel like it looks kind of suspect trying to trade 1-for-1 with Puka, because then you're like trying to. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, just give you an idea. Maybe package Puka and someone else on your team for AJ Brown, something like that. Although AJ Brown just came off a monster week, so that's gonna be a hard task. Maybe Amon-Ra, something like that. So somewhere around there in terms of running backs. Someone like, I mean, Brian Robinson's having a solid year. DeAndre Swift maybe.
Oh, if you could get Swift for
Yeah,
Puka,
I mean, depending on what you're really
1,000,000,000%.
looking to get, that all changes. Maybe David Montgomery, I like James Cook for Puka. I think that's a good 1-for-1 if that's a team that needs receivers and you need a running back. I think Puka for James Cook is very fair.
Mm-hmm.
So something like that, man. I hope that
I
gives you a
think
good idea of what you're looking for. So, what does Side Eye say? A lot of people have talked about the Cup re-injury factor. And I think it's valid. Yeah, that's kind of where I come from. Jesus said, "How would you feel about Godwin for Puka? Not sure if I want to give up Richardson just in case Herbert gets injured." So season long, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I like Richardson more than Herbert. Actually, as crazy as that's gonna sound.
It does sound crazy.
I just love his rushing upside. I think his overall upside is just huge. I think they'll be pretty neck and neck. But
Yeah, I like Herbert more than Richardson season long. I wouldn't worry about like re-injury with Herbert. It was kind of like a freak accident.
and it's
He
on
got
his non-throwing
fingers.
hand. I want to emphasize that it's not
Yeah.
on his throwing hand. So
Yeah, that's obviously big. I
Um,
turned on who to trade. Oh wait, how would you feel about Godwin for Puka? I wouldn't
I
trade
value-
away Godwin for Puka.
really,
I think Puka right now is a trade away candidate because we
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I like Puka a little more than Godwin just because the overall offense.
look. I mean,
It's
I
pretty
would say-
even. It's pretty even.
I would say Puka's ceiling is where it is right now. Like,
Right.
there's if Cooper Kupp is playing, no way Puka gets
Yeah.
more valuable. So if you're looking at it from that perspective, I would not trade Godwin for Puka.
So I'm torn on who to trade for my RB room. I think Swift, like, although he is probably gonna be really good season long, I think he's a great trade asset if you're looking to go to like get a monster RB.
Yeah,
Like if you're trying to
Eckler.
package like Swift and Godwin for like Bijan, I think that's a great trade. I forget who his other receivers were though. But something like that, man. If like, that's hard. Like Swift, if someone's taking the bait on Taylor,
Yeah, I would trade away Taylor before Swift.
but him and
Chill.
having Richardson, what?
I'll trade. Okay, never mind.
Never mind.
So,
Having Taylor and Richardson is really intriguing. To have both of them in your lineups can be because then you're guaranteed that rushing touchdown.
Mhm.
Like that's really that's a hard. I think Swift is the greatest trade asset in my mind.
I would trade Pollard and someone and try to get CMC.
Yeah, I mean that's a hard task coming off a 4 touchdown game, but so get into Ray. Also had Eagles D last week versus Commanders. Couldn't believe they had 4 points when they played the Cardinals in the lot.
Dude, yeah, Olave.
Yeah, Carter's an
crapshoot.
Olave owner.
He was
Yeah.
crapshoot last week.
Carter should have sat. You're right about that. But yeah, Eagles D. I'm a Commanders fan, Redskins fan. Played a good game of offense. So that was unfortunate.
Should I trade Kenneth Walker?
4-0.
4-0, and my other running backs are CMC, James Cook, Algier, and Hunt. I would like to trade for other running back.
Off reading that, no. I don't know who your receivers are, George. Obviously, CMC and James Cook, two guys we're really high on. I like Kenneth Walker, though. Like, I think he has a really good floor right now. He seems to be their goal line guy. He's getting triple the touches Charbonnet is. So I like Kenneth Walker right now. He is kind of... We were talking about him last week as sort of a trade high, sell high candidate. I think if you're looking to get a more stable running back, I'm not totally opposed to that because I don't think Kenneth Walker is necessarily going to finish. I think he finishes more as a low-end running back one. So if you trade him for someone, if you trade him and someone else in your team for someone like DeAndre Swift, as we were just saying, or I don't know, if you view like Pacheco as more stable, I don't know your complete view on Kenneth Walker. I do like Walker more than Pacheco though.
Yeah, definitely.
But Algier and Hunt are really not like options to me right now. CMC and James Cook are great 1 and 2 punch. But I think with Kenneth Walker there, I would keep those three running backs together, especially being 4-0. I would not look to shake up your team.
Yeah.
Unless you can go for a star.
Yeah, if you're 4-0, you're obviously fine already. You're only going to trade if you can get, like, another superstar. Like, you're not trading for depth.
Right.
You're looking to only improve on a 4-0 team. So I would...
Ray said if he played Ravens D, he would have won. Yeah, man.
Wow.
I picked up the Chargers last second because they were going against Aiden O'Connell. Also, I subbed. Appreciate that, Ray. Hope you're getting some good answers from us. But yeah, man, that's unfortunate. That make or break because of your defense. That's trash.
Or trade for...
So Fortnite Cookie.
Okay,
What did he say?
I want to go back to this because I'm not sure if we answered it. Who the trade in the running back room? I think
My take is Swift. I think he's the greatest trade. Like, I do like him season long. I just think he's the greatest trade asset right now.
Yeah, surprising.
Because he's emerged on that Philly offense. People are probably really high on him. I think if you package him with someone, you can go get a stud like Bijan. That's my take.
I agree with that.
So what did Fortnite Cookie say?
For Jordan Love, Pierce, Garrett Wilson for JT. I trade for Jordan Love, Pierce, Garrett Wilson for JT, Waddle, and I traded Pickens for Pacheco. Rated did I?
Ooh, I like getting Pacheco for Pickens.
Love, Pierce, and Garrett Wilson for JT and Waddle is great.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you got JT
Pickens
and Waddle.
for Pacheco,
that's a steal. That's a robbery. That's highway robbery right there.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you got JT and Waddle, and I'm assuming clearly you got Pacheco.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I love that. So what do you say? Taylor already said he won't play for Indy, and no one wanted him, so I was lucky to get that.
Yeah, I mean, he says that, but realistically, guys, like
he's gonna play.
Especially
with Indy doing well. Like I think he's like there's no way he doesn't play.
If he wants to get paid at all this year, he has to play. So I mean, it's not like the Colts are like no one wins in the situation where.
Right. I love to answer his to give you a grade, bro. On the Pickens for Pacheco, that's an A+ in my book.
Oh, 1,000.
Pickens is he's very volatile. Like he's just gonna be up and down. And Pacheco's great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean not great. He's a solid RB2.
Yeah.
We answered that earlier. But I like getting JT and Waddle. I think Waddle's a great bounce back candidate season long. JT, very excited for him. Getting a lot of JT questions right now. I thought about Montgomery and Metcalf for Bijan and Whoa. If you can get Bijan and Debo for Montgomery and Metcalf, bro, I'm all over that. He said this person has those two players on their team. Maybe add Christian Watson in there to make them accept it more, although I'm trying that first. Yeah, bro. If you can get Bijan and Debo, I would put that in there first. Obviously, you always want to start low and build your way up to see what their value is. If I get Bijan, then I have Barkley and Bijan at the same time. Yeah, love that if Bijan comes back. He said I traded Taylor, but got what I could for him. So he got J Love, Pierce, and Garrett Wilson for JT and Waddle. So yeah, I mean I don't mind that side. I do like Garrett Wilson a little more than Waddle. Just from what we've seen so far, I do think Waddle bounces back. Don't love Dameon Pierce. But I do think he's a solid option like throughout the season. He's more of a flex play to me right now. I think that if that Houston offensive line can find their way, I think that's a great, great thing for Pierce. So on that, the Pacheco trade, I give you an A plus. On that other trade, I'll probably give you like a B minus or a C plus. I do like the JT Waddle side of that a little more. I mean, what would you?
Yeah, I kind of zoned out a little bit there. I mean, I thought you traded for JT and Waddle. Jordan Love, he's pretty good. Pierce, Garrett Wilson. I do like Garrett Wilson a lot more after seeing what happened last week. So trading away GT and Waddle is a little bit risky in my opinion. I think that both of those guys are, top players. Picking for Pacheco, I think is great though.
That's
so
a
like,
steal.
it doesn't matter. Like over there on that first trade, pretty even. I'd say maybe
I'd lean
not
JT
the best
Waddle
trade,
a little bit.
but yeah, I probably would have kept JT and Waddle, but picking for Pacheco is absolutely amazing. I thought about Montgomery and Metcalf for Bijan and Debo.
That's a smash in my. If you're getting like he says he's getting Bijan and Debo like that 100. I would do that 100% personally.
I'm a little bit more on the side of Montgomery and Metcalf.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Montgomery has the Jamal Williams role now, and he's just more talented.
Bijan's RB6.
That's true. I mean,
Bijan's way better than David Montgomery.
Yeah.
Montgomery gets no receptions. Like Bijan's light years ahead of Montgomery, in my opinion. There's no way Montgomery keeps up this pace.
Yeah, I mean,
Debo
I don't
and
mind
Metcalf's
it.
kind
I'm
of a
not
tie
a huge
for me.
Debo fan. Obviously, I do think Bijan's better than Montgomery, but more of what I'm weighing is Metcalf versus Debo.
Yeah.
I do like Metcalf a little bit more, but yeah, I that's a good trade. Taylor already said he wouldn't play for Indy. Okay, we already talked about that. I almost got Cup for him, but got backed out. Once he saw Taylor won't play for Indy.
Taylor's
Man,
playing.
You could have got
Taylor's
gonna
playing.
play.
Like he's practicing tomorrow, so
Mm-hmm.
or today technically.
And they have 3 weeks until he goes back on pup for like the rest of the year. So
what did he just say? I have Mixon, Etienne, Kamara, Kyron. Oh my gosh. Holy
I
shit.
get Bijan there, Barkley and Bijan at the same time. That's amazing.
Bro, look at that comment. Look at his team.
I have Mixon, Etienne, Kamara,
Kyron
Rams running
Williams.
back, and I got
Pierce
Pierce and Pacheco. No. And I got
Chase, Puka, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, and Michael. Yo,
and Jameson. So that's a good team.
that's a great team.
Yeah.
All right, side eye, lay it out for us. What went down? Yeah, Fortnite Cookie, you have a hell of a team there, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Picking up Kyron Williams, obviously, and then you got Kamara, Etienne, Mix. I mean, bro, you should be trying to. I don't know your format. I don't know, if you're playing a double flex or what. But you have almost too much depth. Considering you have Jamar Chase, Puka, Amon-Ra, and Garrett Wilson, who are all starters on a week-to-week basis. Obviously, I would rate Garrett Wilson the lowest out of those three. Chase and Amon-Ra are your top two. At running back, Kamara's your RB1 there. I'd say Etienne's your 2. Pacheco and Mixon are kind of a tie for me. I'm leaning Pacheco right now just because that Cincy offense is not pretty.
Yeah, I would trade away Mixon and
I'd probably put together if you could trade away this is going to sound a little crazy. If you could trade away Amon-Ra and Mixon for a top receiver, I would be all for that. Or trade Puka and let's say Dameon Pierce, something like that, or Puka and Etienne for a top running back, something like that.
yeah, I would trade away Puka and Mixon or something like that. Try to upgrade Puka and Etienne.
All right, side eyes.
Deal for
He's stalling on us. What'd you do?
Would you rather do that or try to have Olave, Metcalf, and Lamb all at the same time? I still have a guy like Mostert and Gibbs, Pierce down there. RB2, RB1 is obviously good if Monty gets hurt.
So would you rather do that or try to have? So he's saying that first trade he said, or try to have Olave, Metcalf, and Lamb. I mean, I love Bijan, dude. Um,
I
I
mean, did you already make that trade or no?
no, he's just saying hypothetically right now.
Okay, I mean, dude, Bijan's gonna be the best player out of that trade. So
Yeah.
like,
With the Bijan and getting Bijan and Debo trading away Montgomery and
yeah,
DK.
Bijan's clearly the best player in that
Right.
trade.
So, what's your opinion on Mostert moving forward? Because I know you're a Mostert owner.
It's a little shaky, obviously. Jeff Wilson will probably come back sometime this season, probably later than expected. So, I mean, I think he's still like a flexible player, but nothing.
He's
too
moving
crazy.
down the
He's-
rankings.
Yeah, he's very quickly getting less and less appealing. But like last week, I really wanted to see a week where we could see an even split between him and Achan, but we don't know what a regular game looks like with
Right.
that split yet, so it's hard to really gauge where he's at.
Yeah. What side I say he did?
My deal for Kenneth Walker was just accepted. Oh. Kittle, Gabe Davis, and Madison for Kenneth Walker and Kadarius
Oh,
Toney.
let's go. He got Walker,
Okay.
dude.
Yeah. There you go. Big thumbs up there.
Kadarius Toney. Yeah, you're right about that,
So
bro.
now you got Walker and Saquon, right? Saquon, Walker.
Go back up to his team. It's pretty high up, but we can find it.
He's got Saquon, Walker.
He's got Barkley, Walker, and Montgomery, bro,
Yeah.
and Damian Pierce.
And then he's got
He's still got Olave,
Olave,
Metcalf. Bro, you just
Christian
traded like
Watson.
nothing essentially.
Yeah, you really
You
did.
still have
You
Hawkinson.
still have Hawkinson. You literally just traded nothing for
Or no,
Kenneth
we're looking at the wrong team.
Walker. Are
We
we?
were just looking at Rays. Yeah. So what's
Oh.
side I have? So keep scrolling up.
So he's got Saquon,
Kenneth
Oh.
Walker.
Jay Jettis, Olave, Laporta, and
Bro,
Zay Flowers.
he traded Kittle when he has Laporta, Gabe Davis behind Jay Jettis and Olave, and then he basically just upgraded Madison to Kenneth Walker.
Dude, yeah. What?
That was a great trade,
Bro,
and you're still gonna get Dobbs.
that's a 10 out of 10 trade.
You're still gonna get Dobbs. Yeah, great trade, bro. Great
yeah, drop
trade.
to
side-eye.
Darius Toney and pick up Dobbs.
Yeah. This guy's a Lions
Would
fan.
you rather do that or try to have Metcalf if they reject it?
So, Ray, I'm assuming you're talking about the Bijan trade versus the original trade you showed us. Personally, keep in mind Pierce is not. Yeah, so I highlighted that earlier with Laramie Tunsil hopefully coming back. Texas offense is getting better. Carter really likes C.J. Stroud. I do like Pierce moving forward a little more than what we've seen. I loved that trade for Bijan. I really do. Honestly, I don't think you're too bad keeping your team as is. I think you're a really solid team. Obviously, having Olave, Metcalf, and Lamb would be huge for you. And you'd still have Pierce, Monty, and Saquon. So I mean, I think your team's fine, man. What side eye? So side eye now has Saquon, Kenneth Walker, Lamar, Jay Jettis, Olave, Laporta, Zay Flowers. Heck yeah, dude! You're gonna pick up Romeo Dobbs. So yeah, man. Side eye, great move, bro. You got rid of some depth that like George Kittle. I think is really expendable. Fortnite Cookie, let us know when you're back on. I see you said, hold up, let me join the stream on alt.
What's alt?
I'm not sure.
Let me join. Yeah, I don't know.
So Ray said, do you think there's any way I can get Lamb or Waddle on my team? So scroll back up to Ray's team. So my actual team, is there any way I can get Lamb or Waddle on my team? Oh yeah, he's the guy with insane wide receiver depth. Yeah, absolutely, bro. There's certainly a way you can do that. If you have Olave, Metcalf, Watson, Dobbs. So I would certainly try to move one of Watson or Dobbs. That's going to be a headache for you throughout the season. I think Watson's a little more appealing name-wise, but if your league mates like Dobbs more, I would have no problem moving him. I certainly think you should try to move two of your receivers, like if you could trade Watson,
Watson, Kirk, and Montgomery maybe. Try to get him.
try to get one of those receivers plus a running back in return, for sure. Like if you could trade Watson and Montgomery for, I mean, you would need something big for that, in my opinion. Like you need Lamb and something else in return.
Yeah, I mean, if your guys, it depends, dude. Lamb's like, he's a first pick.
Right.
So
I mean, I really like his team as it is right now. I just think he has great depth.
I think your team's solid.
Like Olave, Metcalf, and then you get the matchup-based pick out of Watson, Dobbs, Myers, and Kirk. Obviously, Barkley, Montgomery, and Pierce moving forward is really looking good. I mean, obviously, so to answer your question in a vacuum, yes, there's absolutely a way you can get one of those guys on your team. You have great depth. So yeah, I mean, just to answer your question, I absolutely think if you want to make that move, you said which would be best. I think if you want to make that move, yeah, bro, because you have a lot of wide receiver depth. I think if you could clear up that depth a little bit, it would definitely work in your favor. Side-eye Muppet, thanks for the advice. Yeah, I appreciate it, bro.
No problem.
Straight up dropping Tony when I get him. Yes, absolutely. No issue in that. You're not gonna get any rebuttal from me. But yeah, Ray. So what else? Someone sent me a trade of Monty for Waddle yesterday. Would you accept? Or even if I did, so he's saying, would you trade I would not trade Monty for Waddle straight up. I think Monty's really good. Okay, so Fortnite Cookie. Scroll back up a little bit. Fortnite Cookie had guy wants Kittle for Jameson Williams. I'm guessing he's a Lions fan.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not huge on Kittle. I don't think Jameson Williams is interesting to me. We haven't seen a lot of him through his professional career thus far. I mean, if you need a tight end, like, you can go for it. And if you're not going to use Jameson that much, if you're not looking to keep him up, go for it. Not huge on either of those guys, really. Yeah, where was his first?
Yeah, let's see his team.
Was that his first? Yeah. So he hasn't really given us his team.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh wait, scroll back up slightly. Yeah, right there.
Mixing
Oh,
18.
no. Who's his?
No, I got Chase Puka.
Oh, he didn't give us his tight end currently.
I mean, yeah, no tight end or quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, bro, you're not gonna use Jameson Williams. Like, you have beast at receiver. So I mean, if you want to make that trade for Kittle, yeah, I have no issue with it.
It could work.
Yeah,
No
no
problem.
reason not to do it, really. Like, you're never gonna start Jameson Williams over any of those guys, bro.
Yeah.
Especially with having Amon Ra.
Mm-hmm.
He has Laporta. You're the second guy.
Oh, let's go. Okay, no, you don't need Kittle. You got Laporta.
Yeah, I mean,
I would keep Jameson Williams.
well, I mean, you can have Laporta or have Kittle for the bye week and a bad match. Like, bro, he has no use for Jameson Williams.
What if Jameson Williams just goes up in value though? Like,
I mean, yeah, that's
together 2
fair.
or 3 good weeks.
That's fair. He said good to know because I rejected that yesterday. Yeah, Ray, that's a good rejection. I think we got to wrap this up here soon.
Yeah, guys, it's 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, guys. Obviously, you guys like this a lot. Might try to do this for you once a week at least, maybe twice if we can fit it in. We always do some stuff for you guys pre-game time on Sunday morning. I will not be here this Sunday. Going out of town. Will you be doing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will most
usually hop
likely
on
be doing
around
it.
noon time to answer
Mhm.
some questions straight up. So 12:07 here. Yeah. So all right, let's wrap up with these questions we got here. So
Someone sent me a trade of
yeah, so he
Monty for
rejected that.
yesterday.
So, what do you say? I want to trade Montgomery and get a flex, obviously, there. But at the same time, I want to try and get a decent running. Yeah, so I would value Montgomery higher than a flex, Ray. You got to be looking for more than a flex. Like, I think Montgomery for Lamb straight up is something that would be interesting. Obviously, you want another running back because you are relatively thin there. You got 3 good guys right now, but you can't give away one and not get a running back, in my opinion. Not a really good one, but decent at least. So, I mean, if you get Monty for like Lamb and then trade one of your lower end wide receivers, like if you could trade Monty, and I think he's the guy that has Kirk also. So if you could trade Monty and Kirk for like Lamb and then another solid running back, I'd say go for it.
Yeah, you don't even need a running back. Like if you get Monty,
I don't think he
and
should
Kirk
do anything
for
with his
Lamb.
team personally, unless he could upgrade at the receiver spot without giving up one of his running backs, if that makes sense.
Who are his 3 running backs?
He has Montgomery, Saquon, and Pierce, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I would
that's,
stick with his squad.
I'd stick with it. I think Monty and Kirk for Lamb is a no-brainer in my opinion,
I think you should be getting more value out of that.
bro. Okay.
I mean, I know CeeDee Lamb's great, but like Monty's really good right now. Also have Moss. So to us, Moss goes down in value greatly this week due to Jonathan Taylor coming back. I don't see Zach Moss having much of a role. Could be a split to start the few weeks. Obviously, physical conditions different than game time conditioning in terms of Jonathan Taylor. So could see a split the first week, but Moss is not a guy I think is going to hold much value here moving forward.
Okay, so my QB are Stroud and
Stafford.
Yes.
I mean, there's 2 solid guys to have. I think Stroud's your guy right now. That's for sure.
We'll see how Stafford does when Cup comes back. I think
Yeah.
he's going to have a couple more touchdowns up his alley. 12-7 Laporte Supremacy. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for talking with us, for interacting. This was a lot of fun. So,
Absolutely.
as you were saying, we're going to look forward to doing that in the future. Do I start Puka or Amon Ra? Amon Ra.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get ready because I faced the only... Yeah, Amon Ra.
Yeah, Amon Ra, man. If Cup's not playing, though, you got to find a way to get both of them in your lineup.
Oh, yeah. If Cup's not playing, yeah, you're playing.
Because there's some speculation Cup won't play week 5. He's going to play week 6. But, yeah, if Cup's out of the lineup, you're playing Puka. Obviously, Amon Ra. Amon Ra's a no-brainer in your lineup. But if Cup's not playing, bro, certainly play Cup. But as Carter was saying, we got a lot of interaction here. I think this is a great way to get yeah, good night to you too, Ray.
Yeah, have a good one, bro.
But yeah, man, I think this is a great way for us to interact with you guys, get more interaction, like I just said, answer questions for you guys. You get live feedback.
We interact.
Yeah, and we interact. But so we'll try to do this, at least once a week before Sunday. I think on a day like this, coming off the weekend is pretty helpful too, because I think that's when most people have a lot of their questions coming in.
Yeah.
So
I think we should try to do this like on a day like today.
Yeah.
Like if we could fit
probably try to do that every Tuesday or something.
Probably try to start a little bit.
Yeah, guys. So hopefully you subbed, and not just saying that just to try and be like everyone else, but just to be able to keep an update of when we go live and stuff like that, because this is really enjoyable for me, because this is the first time we've really had this much interaction. So I love doing this with you guys. We try to get to everyone. I can't imagine having more people than this, because it was already hard to try and keep up with everyone's teams. But guys, hope we did a good enough job answering your questions, getting you a good idea of your value, what you should be looking for your squad, stuff like that. But yeah, I'll end it there. It was great interacting.
Thank you guys for watching. Have a great night. Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Love from Virginia Beach. Peace. You ever thought about being a fantasy football analyst? I guess that's what we are. I don't know. We like to think of ourselves like that.
On the way.
Not very official, but yeah, we're on the way to it, Ray. Hope you like our videos, bro, further in the week. Fridays, we like to do sleepers, locks, and bust. That sort of thing. But we'll try to keep up on all the information, that sort of stuff. But yeah, good night to you too, bro.
Good night, homie.